And welcome for the third and final time, Schrodinger's audience, to the Land of Hollows. We're playing the third part of the playtest of Rowan Rook and Decord's forthcoming game of Sad Shadow of the Colossus combat game. We have delved through the depths of Steel City. And I've just realised I've left my actual manual elsewhere, so we have to get that in a second. We've defeated the Rustwolf in an orgy of violence, followed by a baptism of holy and desecration, and we returned to the inn to reprise ourselves and returned back to where we came. I'm gonna go around the group and ask everyone just introduce yourself, briefly introduce your character, and say. I mean, last time I said about what your favorite, what I asked what weapon you're looking forward to use last time. This time I asked the same question, but like with a different spin on it. And also, I'm going to disappear for a second because I've got to grab my iPad, which has the certain bits of the rules on. So feel free to carry on without me. Right.
I can go first.
Yeah, go for it, Dan.
Hey, I'm Dan. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Caliban, also known as the Crab. And what little I remember about Caliban is he started out as a scavenger. He's pretty badly scarred and has bright red skin, which is what earned him the name Caliban, or the Crab. He fights. He's kind of a tank. So he likes taking damage, and he fights with 2 spears. I've taken on a new ability, Pierce, which I didn't really get to use Focus last time, so I'm excited to try using Focus with that ability. Jim?
Sorry, I'm trying to use my Zoom keyboard shortcuts to unmute myself. I'm Jim. I run and play a whole lot of games on the Gauntlet. Generally use he, him pronouns, although they, them is fine with me too. I have played with everybody here, which is cool. I'm happy to be back in the game. I am playing Roger Pound Sterling, a former constable turned monster hunter who generally solves problems through the application of blunt force trauma. So it seems it's worked well the couple of times that he's tried it, with the exception of having gotten killed in our first game. So I actually racked up a death, but I think we're probably not going to play enough sessions for us to figure out how all that works and what that means and stuff. But I'm looking forward to. I picked up an axe last time, a great axe, which I used to great effect. And I picked up another ability that lets me roar at beasts and mess with the threat tokens that we use as, kind of currency, or I guess that the beast uses currency to kind of move us around and make attacks and stuff like that. So be interesting to manipulate some of that.
Cool, I'll jump in. Hello, I'm Pavel. I'm playing Cardinal Usher Bertram, who used to be a priest, but was probably expelled for reading heretic books about monsters and other worldly places, and is now also part of the group. He's equipped with a book and a piece of chainmail under his I forgot the name, casrock, his priestly robes. So yeah, I'm playing. I'm trying to play the support when the conditions allow me to be the support of the group. And I look forward to testing my new ability on the book. That will also want me to be close, and then the entity will take resolve whenever it interrupts or repositions us. So we'll see how it works.
And hi, my name's David. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Sergeant Loxley. Also uses he, him pronouns. Sergeant Loxley is an ex-soldier, still wears his old uniform, even if it has seen better days, keeps his boots at a high parade shine. We've seen him mostly engage using his trusty infantry rifle, though he does now also have a nasty-looking machete at his belt. I also picked up a new ability at the end of our last session. I decided that I was going to tempt fate by taking the pristine ability, which makes me slightly more effective when I haven't taken any wound damage yet.
Well, I'm sure it'll be fine. No one's possibly going to hit you. Okay. Well, I did mention before, we're playing as part of the Gauntlet Gaming Community, and we're playing according to the community guide, the community rules, and we've set up lines of veils, and we're playing with the X card in full effect. We'll be taking breaks probably on the hour, but in that kind of area, it's definitely a game where if I see something coming up, I might hold on or cut earlier. But that's roughly the shape of it, and we'll be playing for 3 hours or 2 hours and 48 minutes now. Excellent. And the scene. I think you're re-entering Steel City. Of course, re-entering in the case of Roger, Loxley, and the Cardinal, and entering for the first time in the case of Caliban, because you tapped out with a good doctor in the pub and re-entered. The scene before you was, well, it's messy. There's what remains of a rust wolf, some enormous beast the size of. I trust you can't really tell how big it was before. You'd probably have to ask Roger. But it's spread over the area. This area is full of people who are like. They've got the flawed expression of somebody who has like lost their god. These are they're sort of like praying and trying to reassemble desperately this rust wolf. To the south there is, I'll just show you the map. To the south is the factory from you came, the rust factory, which basically the rust wolf sort of predated upon. And to the far east is the mansion where you know the Lord of the Hollow is. To sort of actually, does anyone want to jump in and give a kind of a quick recap of what you think you've discovered so far for Caliban? Roger, the pal.
Well, it's a factory district like the kind that I spent my childhood in. I'm brought back to my days as a sprout when, at the age of 8, my father sent me off to the factory to help the family earn a living, and so this is all quite familiar to me. The desperate sods that live here in the towers, and and it seems like the towers kind of go up and down somehow. These are the sorts that spend their days days in the factory, nights drinking and brawling with each other, that kind of thing. They seem to have the rust wolf seem to worship it. So when we dispatched it as we should, and I think locomotive about the size of a locomotive. That's what I would say. Locomotive engine, thereabouts. So nothing we couldn't deal with. And now that it's destroyed, these people are, I mean, they're upset, but it's not like they're going to do anything to us. So, and there was some kind of supervisor in the knife factory, who was running the whole thing by themselves, but we kind of left them well enough alone.
Yeah, they seem to be busy. They were being hunted by the rust wolf when they were working. That's it's kind of part of the dangers of working here was this thing. Actually, the images, the tenements going up and down. It's to the west of where you are basically the tenement buildings. Like it sort of sweeps down to where you are, and the whole west wall is just like an enormous sprawl built on top of a sprawl, like hundreds of years of urban deprivation, like above you looming. As you said, as Roger puts it, like home.
Council flats. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Caliban, of course, you've just joined them. So, like, do you want to tell us a bit about what you're up to in the real world that made you come late? Like, what's Caliban's life like when he's not off? Sorry, when they're not off hunting.
I have a lot of responsibilities for kind of a scavenger village. I'm the primary gatherer of materials, and there was a party that was sent out to a set of ruins to try and scavenge it, and they had heard that the ruins were being occupied by a rival group. So it was my responsibility to sort of provide some protection for the scavengers. And as I arrive, my compatriots notice maybe a couple of new wounds on my person, and an additional spear, which I'm I brandish. I don't speak much, so I brandish it to kind of show it off.
Yeah, brilliant. I say things are pretty grim around here now. There are this wailing, lamenting. I think the cardinal is probably the person who's most noticing these people who have lost their god. I mean, are you interested in questioning and trying to discover something else more about their worship, or do you want to press on to the south and try to get on?
I think Cardinal makes the sign of the cross and says that they are too far gone for retribution. Let's press on.
Great. Okay, you head on to the south, back for the rust factory. Now quiet. Of course, the people aren't stopping. That guy who has got antlers sort of stapled to his head isn't just because he knows the rust wolf is gone. He's not slowing down at all. There's something else that occurs to you as you're traveling, and this is actually a player option I could have mentioned earlier. I just want to give you the option. I think the answer is probably not. There's a thing called tethers you can make. A tether is basically, normally you go into the Lord, kill the Lord, and ruin the hollow. If you make a tether, you can actually save the Lord and bring them back and kind of purge them of like the whatever awful mental drive led to them creating this place. Basically free them. The only problem with this is A, it costs resources, and B, it makes the final fight much harder. Like they gain a bunch of extra special abilities. Now, the second thing I've got to say there, also you need to get 10 lore to get to the big baddie anyway, and you've only got 7 at the moment. So it's a sort of thing more for high level play, like, and especially for us, people you want to save. Like, and everything so far has sort of screamed this guy's a shithead. But I want to give the options to the players if you're actually interested in pursuing that.
I think that everything we've learned says that this one's a bastard, and that that we're fine. Just, I mean, as a player, I've done a little bit of reading of people talking about it, and like, you know, maybe later on you find out that like one lord is like a widow who's sick with grief, and that's why the hollow is the way that it is, and so maybe you want to save her instead of just murder her. But this industrial capitalist piece of shit sounds like someone we can just kill with a clean conscience, I think.
There's nothing you can't fix with him there's nothing you can't fix with him with 2 spears. So I think
exactly. It's as a player option, I think it's really interesting. As far as Sergeant Loxley is concerned, nothing solves a problem like a bullet through the head. So yeah.
Cardinal, you okay with that?
Yes, of course.
Excellent. You press down for the rust factory and you come down to, let's pull up the map again. To contest these areas here. This is basically a whole, it's flattened is a good way of putting it. It looks like an ongoing war zone, like sort of a Stalingrad kind of vibe. The buildings were here, have been shattered. You see a few people who are, you come to think of them as the mourners. They're the people who are in the main tenements who kind of work the sort of the factory work. And they're sort of watching out to the south. The bridge to the east is sort of mainly blocked off right now. As in, actually, I'm going to rephrase that. The bridge has exploded and there's no easy way across it. I'd leave that little gap there. To the south, over this no man's zone, you see these weird, pallid, incredibly pale creatures moving back and forth at work. They're kind of halfway across, working on a trap. Occasionally, one of the people who are the mourners who are to the north side here throw a rock at them or something, or take a shot with a very old kind of blunderbuss, which goes short. They kind of scatter, and they come back, and then they see you, and they start. These pallid creatures start lurching off to hide. Some of them heading back towards the incredibly large factory to the south, which smoke rises out of ominously, and another couple of trying to kind of hide from you in this kind of vague area. It seems like they've given it away a bit in that. Oh, there's traps across. They've trapped this area heavily, and it's some kind of no man's land between the one side and the other. Sergeant Loxley, you got any plans to have to continue here?
Yeah, I think Loxley is going to start moving through and having a look around this no man's land, proceeding sort of cautiously, looking for mines, tripwires, all the sort of unpleasant things that might be lurking in wait here. But yeah, I think wants to get a closer look at these these strange pale figures.
Cool.
And
You're going to go for them. So that I think that's interesting. So how are you going to try to get hold of one? Like this is basically this is looking for lore. I'm trying to work out what skill you'll be using to try to get hold of one.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I actually have a net as a piece of my combat equipment, a weighted net.
That seems legit. If you want to order the Roger Sterling to give it a shot.
I kind of, I point to where it's like, kind of like sort of like draped on my belt. Sergeant, sir, begging your pardon. If we need to get a hold of one of them, maybe we can just capture
them. No need to call me Sir Sterling, but I like your I like the idea. See if we can get one of those bastards and see what they're up to.
I would roll strong, difficulty 10, but you're rolling with advantage because you've got the net, Roger.
All right, so I haul it out and kind of, sort of eyeball one of them, and then just kind of like, like spin it a little bit, and then just toss it at him. And it's one of those things where it's like, got like the heavy weights on the kind of the ends, and it's going to hit and do the like wrap around thing like that. So let's see what happens here.
Okay. If I just remind everyone of the system, if you roll 2 dice and you're aiming to get between the difficulty and your stat to get it.
All right, and I've got advantage, so I'm rolling twice. So this is a net roll here. Ha! I got an 18 and a 20.
Disastrous.
Yeah.
I would say, like, okay, you've got hold of one in the net. Unfortunately, it's a live one, and it starts attacking you with surprising strength and a surprising number of teeth. It's like you're aware that because when the head opens, there's multiple mouths there. On this one, you've when you got close enough,
that. Yeah,
you got one and the other one's scattered. It opens with like 3 mouths, and they're all trying to bite you. So you're wrestling with this horrible creature now. I'm marking Doom because it's this is vaguely petrifying. But Roger's in that entire mess. I better say, actually, Sergeant, you're the one who gave the order. You want to try to actually deal with this?
Yes, I think I'm going to attempt to remedy the situation by delivering a sharp boot to the head of this creature.
That's great. Difficulty 10 again. With strong, I think, again.
Sure thing. That is an 8, I think, is my best option there.
Yep, and that is a mixed success. Which means you get a bit of doom as well. I think that you managed to take this person down with a kick to the head, and it's sort of lying there. And there's a long, sort of awful factory whistle to the south, as in the alert's been sounded. Then there's another one, and you realise it's a factory whistle, but it's like part factory whistle, part cathedral organ. So they're sort of playing it in those kind of ways, which is definitely like an agreeably creepy moment. Especially, of course, this guy's unconscious now. Then you flip it over and you realise it's sort of been patched together from various other body parts in a kind of Frankenstein type way. Not quite right. Kind of badly patched together is even the wrong word. Forged. The word you'd use is forged. And you see on the back of its head there is a serial number. You realise that there's not just a serial number, also a manufacturer stamp, company property. It says. And you realise these people have been manufactured. They're not been born. And you kind of got a whisper from the north. They're making them to replace us, says the mourners. And you gain D3 lore, Loxley. And I imagine your eyes go to the south where these factory people, these ghouls, are kind of congregating around whatever's inside that place with the smoke drifting up. It's certainly where they come from. So 1 law for Loxley, 1 law for the group, rather. Cardinal, in which case, this weird abomination you've seen, it's kind of, there's traps ahead of you, and you've got this. You know a bit more about them. How do you reckon is a good way to like get past the traps and get into the factory?
Cardinal takes out his lantern and puts some extra oil into it so that it can provide even more light, and says, "Well, if we are going this way, I reckon we are best to spot the things before we step on them, and pray to the Lord we do not step on any."
What stat do you reckon this is?
I look at the wise. It says, "Listen to the land around you and delve into the unknown." So
I vaguely think also it's the sort of the faith area, and there's there's a great visual of you as on pilgrimage with this light ahead of you into the dark of this thing. So I'm willing to give you wise.
Cool. Since I'm using a lantern to see them better, does it give me an advantage as well or not?
I'll give you advantage definitely. I'm going to say it's quite dangerous. So I'm going to say it's difficulty 12 here because there's so many traps here. But of course, your wisdom's high enough to make that still quite likely a success.
Well, we'll see. Cross minefield. It's a 3 and a 16. A 16 is my stat, so that's a critical success.
Perfectly. You gain a piece of lore at this moment. What could the lore be?
I think maybe I step. I think maybe I step on one of the mines, and we hear like a short fuse, but then like it doesn't go off, and then we can like take it out and like actually look at it exactly.
Yeah. And you look inside, and it's all mechanical stuff, but they've got a tiny like a gallbladder full through of petroleum to be explosive. So they're making human body parts into bombs in there. So you gain another lore. I'll just add that to the sheet. And you're now on 10 lore, excitingly, so you could leg it now to the thing. And following the cardinal, you make your way towards the enormous factory gates. It's a sprawling warehouse. There's a 4 or 5 story ceiling of corrugated iron above you. It's sort of I want you to picture yourself by the doors, working your way in, and these ghoulish creatures are mainly keeping their distance, and it's not because they're kind of scared of you, but also they've seen one of you kick the other one in the head and and make your way across the thing. And you sort of see in the center of this warehouse is an enormous mechanical gestalt. And I'll lob a picture of this baby in the keeper. It is as tall as the building, but it's lying down, sleeping, restrained by chains. With enormous fire inside it. And you realize it's not just fire inside it, there's sort of people moving. It's a furnace full of people. And you realize that these are the ghouls inside as well. And you see occasional ghouls scurry inside and scurry out. It's not just a monster, it's their home. However, at the moment, it's weighed down by chains and scrap metals. All around the exterior of this room, you see everything you might expect in a factory, like machines and enormous vats. But then you realize, oh no, these are the machines that make the people. So you're seeing occasionally the awful slop as one of these creatures lurches out. Like, it's okay, Roger. Again, we're home for you in a factory. Like, it's sleeping now, so you probably have to wake it up to it if you even attempt to fight it. So it's an easier one to find than the Rust Wolf. But there's probably this is a factory. There must be offices or something somewhere which have some details of what's going on. That they'll be a little trickier to find. What's the play here? What do you reckon, Roger?
So are there anything like workers around, or is it just kind of all automated, or what's
it's ghouls making ghouls.
Got it.
Each one of these creatures are kind of like working the thing, and they're sort of hanging around and like. Trust you could probably speak to them.
Yeah. So Roger kind of takes out his truncheon and like kind of just quickly scans in the way that a bully like him can for what looks like the like meekest, most obsequious of the ghouls that he sees before him, kind of like that kind of the way that like a hooligan can zero in on, the person the most easy to victimize. And, Roger like stalks right over to him, pointing his truncheon and says, "Hey, you, this is an inspection, surprise inspection. Take me to the manager right now."
Brilliant. This is it's intimidate, so that's hard, isn't it? I think.
Yeah. I think that makes sense to me. Yeah.
You grab this when you grab. Okay, let's make the roll first and play out the fiction.
Sure.
I reckon it's pretty easy to intimidate these guys. I'd say difficulty. Only difficulty. I'm gonna give it difficulty 10 because there's other stuff going around here, but like the actual process isn't hard.
Got it. I'm going to use a piece of my exploration equipment here. I'm going to use my tobacco because as I do this, I'm walking up to him and I'm like, I've got the thing where like the cigarette is dangling out of the the corner of my mouth, and somehow as I'm talking, it's like wagging up and down, but not falling out of the the corner of my lip, like that kind of thing. But that that burning ember there, I have the look of someone that will press it into your into the back of your hand if you don't do what I say. So
cool.
Go ahead and use that to give myself
a 10 hard and advantage.
Yeah, so let me see here. We're just going to call this intimidate. Oh my God, what am I doing today?
Oh, wow.
They're not impressed. 18 and 19 because anybody watching the video can't see our dice roller, but I got an 18 and a 19.
Oof. Well, using the dice, using the dice up early. Yeah. You turn to it, and you start doing the threatening speech, and he just got he can't speak. There's no tongue there. It's like and he's trying to tell you something, and then some of the other ghouls grab him, also making that awful guttural noise, and they tear him apart, and they take the body and they throw it in the vat again, and you see the stamp come down and start to make another ghoul from the leftover parts. And now you're actually close enough, you can actually see that the people coming in and out are gathering parts from the funerals on the cross town to throw into the vats to make more people. It's an awful kind of machinery happening here. I'm going to mark Doom again mainly because it's just horrible.
Seems fair. Yeah.
There's no way around it. It's just horrible.
And I turn to my companions and I say, "Gentlemen, that is the extent of my powers. They seem immune to my charms."
Excellent. To pick up where we left off, Caliban, we've made ourselves across no man's land by grabbing one of these creatures and discovering these ghouls are factory made, specifically made in this factory made of people who have reprocessed into molds, into more people. They've got factory marks on their neck, and they seem to be actually no, I can't say that yet. You're in a big factory, and in the middle of this factory there's an enormous sleeping leviathan. Its picture is presently in the combat tag in the grid. It's sleeping, and it's basically also the home of a load of these ghouls. They kind of crawl inside it, and out of it again. And that's it. Factories going on. Roger would just try to find a way to find the head office or something like that with some plans, because there's got to be some plans in here somewhere. And it went very poorly, and they discovered the horrible truth. Caliban, have you got any? Are you interested in waking up this creature? Because that's the only way you're going to fight it. Or do you reckon you've got enough idea of how you can find out something else going on here?
I mean, I do feel like I'm not going to dive right in. I was just catching up to the rest of the group, so maybe I kind of want to get a sense of the room that we're in. Is it kind of just a big empty open factory room?
Big empty factory. It's around the edge of it. It's got machinery, and the machinery is what's making these ghoulish people. And then there's more. It's 5 levels high, so there's kind of like smaller levels, but this around the edge, you've got walkways on each level, and in the middle, you've got this Colossus who is sleeping, and it's 5 stories high. So the Colossus, if it stands up, it'll fill the space.
Right.
Yeah.
I think my inclination is to examine the machinery that's making ghouls, not in so far as that I'm going to try and even remotely understand it, but more to try and destroy it. So I'm sticking my spear in quietly. I understand what sleeping is, so I'm just trying to jam it up or prevent it from making any more ghouls. Are they operational now, or we just understand that these could be used for that purpose?
Oh no, they're definitely, the whole thing is no pun intended, a living factory. Like
It's happening. It's happening. Got it.
Brilliant. I would say it's like I'm trying to think what stat would be useful for this.
Oh yeah, what's my pokey stat?
I maybe it's I think maybe it's hard because it's a lot of endurance sort of stuff happening. Yeah.
Pushing the spear into different parts until something happens. All right.
Yeah.
You'll have to remind me. I roll a d20, right?
D20. Roll 2d20. You're ideally aiming to try to get between your stat and your between your the difficulty and your stat is the sweet spot. Above your stat to fail, and below the difficulty is a mixed success.
Well, I rolled a 3.
3's good. That's a mixed success.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah. Low's good.
Low's good.
Low's a safe number.
I forgot. That's why I'm actually pretty good at this game, because I rolled terribly on d20s. Okay.
Yes. Okay. I reckon you kind of taking apart the machinery as best you can, and the ghouls are kind of like smashing you in that way. They're trying to get you. Oh, no. And there's enormous. You're trying to do it quietly. Doesn't exactly work quietly, but you are making the machine slow down. Things are broken, and he's kind of sort of realize you sort of in the process you end up finding some actual the instruction book, basically, as in the kind of like the setting up how they built this, the plans, and it's got a kind of note from the Lord. It just says, as in so you can always imagine the voice. The people in the tenements are insufficient, insufficiently servile. We need to basically make a self-generating, self-perpetuating workforce here. And I believe my mechanical colossus will be perfect. We can turn a minor problem into a major opportunity. And you sort of realize that this mechanical this machine here, this enormous thing, was born of an industrial disaster. It's basically all the workforce died in it and became the fuel for this merged with the factory, and that's what the Colossus is. And it's basically a living scream of an industrial accident. You gain D3 +1 law, because at the very least, you know a bit about where to hurt it. And to be honest, it's probably a good idea to hurt it.
All right, so I'm rolling a D3, but I don't think. Oh, let's do. I'm just seeing if the dice roller does D3s. It does. All right, so I'm rolling a D3, and I rolled a 3. I'm very good at rolling 3s.
That's a 2. So up to 12 law. Sorry, that's up to 13 law because it's D3 +1. And have I added Doom or not? I forgot. I didn't actually.
You didn't say anything about it for this particular instance.
Okay,
so.
what I'm saying for the Doom is the amount of noise is the Doom, and the thing's sort of stirring. And you get in the kind of, all the ghouls are going shh, 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 and it's just not a kind of friendly shh. It's a awfully, and you can hear the sort of the muffled screaming inside the Colossus of the people in torment. Okay, we move on to Loxley. Are you going to wait? Does this make you angry? Are you? Because this is quite an easy fight to start. As in, the question is, are you going to start the fight or not?
I think Loxley is going to spit on the floor and say, "Bugger it! Can't believe I left my sudden dynamite at home. Ah, well, let's see if we can't dismantle this thing and put these poor bastards out of their misery."
Brilliant. And I much imagine the cutscene as the four of you approach it, weapons out. It kick it and it wakes. It suddenly lurches up and the chains snap tight. And then the moment of the hunt happens. All the darkness around the factory walls almost disappear, and the darkness lobs in. You're trapped in with it, and it's trapped with people inside it. The hunt is on. Right. I think we're going to start the combat and perhaps see where we are before the break. So everyone knows, basically, you roll quick. If you roll beneath your quick, so if you're quick or below, you succeed, and you get to go in front. You get to put yourself in front. And if you roll your speed or higher, you get to do. If if you roll higher than your speed, I place you. However, before we go there, are you going to spend any law? And I have to spend any doom I would like. So if we go to the tab, which is some rules, I put it under edges are you buy for 3 law each, and banes I spend for 3 doom each. To sort of go through the edges again, because Dan, you didn't really. You saw a little bit of this in the first session, but it's more so this. You now basically have a load of options. Each one costs 3 edge, so 3 law. You can either chase it down, which reduces its maximum resolve. Cornered, reduces its threat cap. Favorable terrain. You'll begin the hunt with a terrain tag of your choice. You got the drop. You roll with advantage to determine deployment and action order, as in the speed roll I just described. Sorry, the quick roll. In the open, reduce the entity's range stat by 2. Or warded entities weird by 2, or weak point the close by 2. Knowledge is the third one. You get to see you get to see the entity's stats and abilities, which of course previous game we didn't know for sure whether or not you know the stats. You don't know the stats, but if you want to know, you can know them all for 3 law. And I will say that as a GM thing, I would be spending some doom in this encounter to just spend some doom because you're now all essentially level 2 characters except for Caliban. Right. Any strong preferences on spending law?
I reckon that since we have 13, we can spend the 3 and hopefully find some for the big body. And since we had some time to observe it, maybe spotting a weak point, considering that we have 2 melee characters, could be a good choice here.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
Very reasonable.
That sounds good.
I'm quite looking forward to fighting this one blind as well.
Yeah, me too. That was I
yeah.
very specifically wanted to do one where we're figuring out what it's doing as we go.
Yeah.
Dark Souls style. Yeah.
Well, I'm interested to actually see how you discover like there's a clue. It's the big guy, but he's covered in chains. There's something, you know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff going on there. Dan, the last time they played it with the stats, so I basically dumped the stats into a tab, and you can actually see it all, which gives you a very different experience. So the one thing they did sort of learn is most baddies seem to have ability to restore resolve. I think that's a broad point about baddies, and that's fantastic. Right, so it was weak spot, so I reduced its close by 2. Yeah. At this moment, my pen has decided to stop working.
I will take this moment briefly to say something about my character, because my character is a support, so it depends from how you position yourself. So my character grants you 2 benefits if you are standing in the same area, like Cardinal. If we're standing in the same area, I will mostly give you like a terrain tag cover. Maybe you have some use for terrain tags. And whenever we are in the same spot, when you guard to regain resolve, you regain 1 more. And thirdly, when I guard, I can heal you 1 resolve, but when you are in the same area. So there are benefits for staying on the same spot as Cardinal. Because my kit is to helping you.
Yes. I will spend some doom, I reckon. I'm going to say he's bitter, which is +2 maximum resolve. Because it's like, it's the moment as it lurches up, you hear its voice sort of saying, "Why didn't you come earlier?" And I will also spend evasive, which it doesn't really sound like the thing, but basically as it lurches up, stuff falls down from the ceiling. Like so, it always everyone's got to dodge. So everyone starts the battle with 2 resolve damage. Right, fantastic. Everyone, we start the battle then by rolling speed. Oh, sorry, quick. I keep on calling it speed. This is like my
Cardinal failed.
That's a 20 there from Luxley, so I think that's just a fail.
Ooh, I got equal to my speed.
critical. I forget what critical allows you to do on the. I don't think critical does anything on your first.
Of course not,
Yeah.
because that's when I rolled it. But
Cool.
at least that counts as making it, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. You made it.
Cool.
Yeah.
And I rolled a 3 again. I've rolled 3 3s so far in this game.
That's a pretty good go. Maybe you just do 3. In weird edge cases, healing, defense. Nope. Yep. It doesn't do anything. But
That's
actually,
cool. I'm just glad I made it.
I think I'm going to give you something because if it's just saying weird edge cases, work out something with the GM. I'm just saying you get to choose a start in a terrain thing of your choice. Like, so you can start with a terrain tag. You know.
Okay. I because of one of the abilities I took, I can't benefit from terrain tags. So that's because I just get extra resolve up front, but it's because I just kind of like march up there. I am where I am, and I don't like terrain. I don't jerk around with like hiding behind rubble or anything like that. So yeah, that's totally fine. I don't need anything extra.
Oh, I was about to say that you say no longer gain the positive benefits of terrain tags. That's slightly different from what I'm suggesting. Actually,
okay.
I will say there's one extra rule in this kind of thing. It's called a colossal. Hunter's close, and if you get an elevated tag, it doesn't actually count as like the normal elevated ability. It counts as basically climbing it and starting to hit it.
Got it. Okay, sure.
So
Yep, that's fantastic then. Cool.
So take the elevated tag. You don't get the normal stuff, but you get what normally counts as this.
Yeah, because and you know what? Let me just read what this ability is. Fearless. You never hide. You're always where you mean to be. Gain +2 maximum resolve. You no longer gain the positive benefits of terrain. You gain no reduction in wound damage from shielded terrain, for example, but you can still take cover, is what it says. But since that's that's not a standard benefit of terrain, that's a thing that has to do specifically with how you attack this critter. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, it's enough. The actual, it can throw you off is the main problem, which I'll get to. I won't reveal that rule when it happens, but when you attack it, you get +0 +1. So in other words, more wound damage, but like no, as long as you're holding onto it, you get to hit it harder.
So I'm going to tag myself as elevated there is what I'm
going to do. That's the one.
And Kieran, I guess from what you're saying, if we want to climb on the thing, we have to roll strong.
To grab hold of it.
To grab hold of it and climb on top of it.
Yeah.
Got it.
It's worth noting. It's only +1 into wound. It doesn't do anything resolve. So it's like it's a plus, and it's quite easy for it to throw you off for a variety of reasons. But like I say that actually I'm giving you too much information.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll discover. Okay, both Roger and Caliban are allowed to actually position themselves wherever they want.
I'm right in the front. I'm up the front.
Hang on. Allow me to remind myself about my abilities in just a second.
To like this image of like, would Roger choose to flank them? No, absolutely not.
No. I think unless anyone has a better idea, I might try rear position.
Rear's good. Rear's tactical.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to position the people in. I'll say Loxley can go on the left flank, and Cardinal is on the right flank. So you've got it surrounded.
That's certainly one way to spin it.
We've got it right where it wants us.
Yeah, the image I've got, that's if you start the combat, it's like all these kind of like Loxley's jumped in the front and everyone, it's sort of spinning around desperately. And it's in the position now that Caliban's managed to fence around it. And Cardon and Loxley have just kind of trying to keep their distance in this hellhole. And it kind of, fire is coming out of its mouth. It opens its enormous, fire's coming out of its eyes and mouth. As it opens its mouth to scream, you see like 40 people screaming inside it. And then the combat's on. And we're going to have our first break there and come back like 2 minutes past 3, just past the hour, and I'll see people then. We can start basically. So I'll do with Caliban, if Caliban wants to go first. Okay, pick up with the situation. We have the enormous creature wrestling with its desperate writhing with the enormous industrial chains pinning it to the ground. And you're encircling it, but it also feels like it's trying to reach out and grab you, as in it's like encircling it may be the worst thing in the world to do with it. Caliban, however, has managed to get behind the creature. Like Caliban, what are you doing? And to remind you of the thing, you have 2 actions: one maneuver and one move. One maneuver and one action. And the action is usually an attack. A maneuver can be a variety of things which are listed also on the grid there. It's worth noting to use your piece of hunting equipment is a maneuver, not an action. So, for example, when Sergeant Loxley used to have a grenade, he could have shot and then also thrown the grenade. Cool.
Right. I used my lure in session 1. Do I get it back, or do I?
Yes, you do. It resets. Actually, it resets every time you go back to your home. So it would reset after the fight when you're back to recharge there.
All right. I'm going to hold on to the lure, though, and I guess I'm a little anxious with the Cardinal being in his own spot there. I'm wondering if maybe I move to the Cardinal to take advantage of being in the same spot and then attack the entity.
That sounds fantastic.
And
I'll just check it. When you picked your second spear, does David, when does the keeper update when the stat bonuses for your weapon? Now,
I put that in
fantastic.
because it doesn't. So I just Sorry, it updates the base weapon stats, but because the quick one gives a bonus to a stat, that bit doesn't. So that I did put in. Yeah.
So in other words,
the stats should be correct. Yeah. No, it should be 15. I think that's with the +1 that the spear gives from its ability as well, from its form ability.
Cool.
Thank you. And yeah, so I'm gonna move to the right flank, and I'm going to I think let me just start with a basic attack.
You have 2 spears though, and they both have different attacks.
It's true. Those are not maneuvers. Those are just things I can do, right?
Yeah. It's worth noting one of them is just much better than the other one. But that gives you an extra quick bonus as well.
Yeah, but I need yeah, do you mean one of the abilities is better?
As in, you have 2 spears, one which is a 2 R3W, and the other one is a 2/2.
Right. Yeah, I like the quick bonus.
Yeah, but the quick bonus is that you get anyway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just it changes your stats.
Okay, so you're suggesting maybe I should have taken the heavy spear.
You can change that now if you like. Oh no, I'm saying you still get the plus. Like, I would say not to take the heavy spear.
Yeah.
Like, so you get the stat bonus for quick on all your attacks because it's a stat bonus. But like when you choose to attack with the weapon, you
Oh, I see.
yeah, and you've got different sets of special abilities in each weapon as well. So like if you were going to use the special abilities for the second weapon, you would have to use the lower level, the 2/2 attack. And if using the special abilities for your main weapon, you use the the heavy weapon is the 2/3 attack. But there's no reason not to do 2/3 unless there's a reason not to. If you see what I mean.
Well, I was thinking, since I moved, I don't have focus, so I can't use that pierce ability.
Yeah.
And sorry, the rules are just coming back to me. Yeah, and since I already did the maneuver to move, then I can't guard. So I think I'm just attacking.
Yeah. So attacking with your 2/3 weapon.
Yes, exactly.
Fantastic.
Which is just a
Quick
D20.
Yes. Good luck.
I rolled a 5.
Right. Let me
I
just
love
look at
roll
stats.
under games.
Right. If you roll, obviously I don't tell you its stat, but that is actually that's a mixed success. So you do resolve damage to it. So you do 2 resolve damage. We're counting upwards on the sheet now. So and it puts 1 threat in your area. Worth noting, I don't like I'll probably hit its max threat, but be aware that if I forget, if I appear not to be hitting a max threat, say, for God's sake, Kieran, have you forgotten something? Right. I'm not going to use an interrupt. I get a chance to use an interrupt there, which I'd normally spend threat on. I'm not spending that threat. Now, Roger Sterling.
Yeah, I'm right in front of it and kind of climbing up the middle. And so I take a second to kind of squint and see if there's a particularly soft looking spot to focus as my regular action, and then get in there with that great big truncheon and just start laying to it, bashing heads in, of what, however many of them there are kind of writhing in front of me. I'm just, like busting up a riot, right?
Brilliant. I was going to say, do you, there's one actually tactical decision you've got to make first, which is basically, just as it's writhing around, you have to spend 1 resolve to hang on, or you can not spend that resolve and lose your train tag.
I'll spend the resolve to hold on.
Fantastic.
That's cool.
Yeah, as it's trying to shake me off and whatever, the hands are clawing at me. I'm just it's like being in a riot. I've done this before.
Yeah.
That's
fantastic. Everything brings back memories.
Yes, yeah. So I'm gonna attack with my my bludgeon.
Cool. Are you using focus?
I am using focus, so I'm gonna roll with advantage. Cool. And this is a 4/1 attack because I do an additional resolve damage when attacking from the front.
Sweet.
So let's see what we got here. This is, I'm going to call this Wade in, is what I'm doing here. 9 and 2 are both below my strong, which is 15. I assume that's probably a mixed hit.
It's not. With your -2, that's a wound.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay.
So you do 2 wounds on it.
Okay.
Which is hurt.
I'm surprised to get through and do the wound there. All right.
Yeah.
So we know a 9, or at least a 9 from me, with a -2 is enough to do a 2. Cool. Yes. Yeah. So I get in there and I think I just like bash a few of the faces in of these writhing things that are making up its the front of it, and like gritting my teeth as with the other arm I've got one of them in a headlock. And that is how I am staying attached to it as this thing is trying to shake me off. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, the classic D&D GM thing of giving you hints of how much health it's got left. I'm going to resurrect that idea as in there's a lot of people inside this thing. Like you've got like from this position attaching to its mouth and looking down and beating them up. There's a lot of people in here. Okay, it's now its turn. That you hit means it doesn't do threat, which isn't good for it. I'm gonna use its attack, which is a sweeping attack. Its arm lashing around across you. I'm gonna hit Roger and Caliban, and its attack hits 2 people in 2 adjacent regions. In other words, you know, it's not everyone in one region. It's that kind of sweep. Both of those people needs to make a hard TN8 attack. Sorry, toughness 8 against hard.
I'm over. I'm a 13 over my 11.
Okay.
And I'm 5 under my 13.
So you rolled 5, which is also beneath it. That's beneath its difficulty. So Caliban gets the resolve damage, and Roger will get the physical hurt damage. Roger, you take 2 wounds. Caliban, you take 4 resolve.
All right. This is where I'm going to bust out the second ability on my axe, which is called No Nonsense. Get in there. When you are in front and suffer wound damage from an entity attack, suffer 1 less damage.
Oh, nice.
So I only take 1 from that instead of the 2.
That's really handy.
Because I'm like right up in there. Yeah, in its face. This is I'm used to mixing it up.
Yeah. Especially this game, it's worth knowing you can reduce damage. It's not, games have you cannot reduce damage to 0. This game doesn't have that. So nice work. Okay, it's lashing out. End of its turn, so it gets to put some threat down. It only puts 1 threat per round down, which I will put. I'm going to put to the right flank. And now it's Loxley and the Cardinal. Who wants to go first? As in, please decide which of you 2 would rather go first.
I can go first. I don't think I have anything that will help or somehow influence the Loxley. Yeah, I think Cardinal is going to guard, which means that I and Caliban recover 1 resolve.
Sweet. Teamwork.
I really needed that. Thank you.
And then I am going to follow up with an attack, which is using the book, reading some words against tyrants and I'm missing the word. Misusing the dead people is like yes. And that the dead should stay dead and should not be like thou shalt not violate the dead and so on and so on.
Nice.
So I'm going to use my brand ability, which I'm marking a resolve, and if I hit, I'm going to focus Caliban because it seems he likes to be focused, and he will hit. And he hits harder than me. So let's roll a single die. So I rolled a 4, which is probably a glancing hit.
Yes, it is a glancing hit. So how much resolve damage do you do?
It's a 2 resolve damage.
Excellent.
And if I hit, an ally in my area can focus. So Caliban, please focus yourself.
Has someone entered the resolve damage already, or is it? Nope. Cool. I've lost count.
I didn't add anything there to resolve, so it's all yours.
It's taken 4.
Yeah, I think we're gonna leave changing the monster stats to you. So
that's fantastic. I just want to delineate that one. Brilliant. It was a mixed success, so I get to put a token down. I'm going to put like 1 threat here. No, I've got to put it in the same region, don't I? Duh. And then I'm going to spend 2 of those threat to make an interrupt. Ghouls run out of its body through a vent and trying to attack the cardinal, I think. Those ghouls, those kind of half-shaped people, are trying to drag you back to the flames to burn you. The attack is toughness 9 hard. Sorry, yeah, difficulty 9 hard.
Okay. So I fail.
Yeah, so you're over your stat then, which means you suffer wound
Yes.
damage. You take 1 wound damage.
And
It's worth
sadly,
noting.
that means
I'll sort of reveal the. Actually, the fact you've suffered the attack means you get to. If you also are pulled. The fact you're in close means you can't be pulled. But like you now know that if you were, for example, attacked in range for this ability, you'll be pulled to close. So these ghouls will drag you close. So if you run away, it pulls you closer.
okay. And this was an interrupt ability or what?
Yes, this was an interrupt.
So when I'm close and the entity uses an interrupt ability, it suffers 1 resolve damage
Oh,
from
sweet!
the lash from my book.
Holy crap, that's great.
But
The
it also
image-
means my armor is currently broken, so Caliban will not be. But so yeah, I will remove the cover tag.
You know what? That is literally what that is some holy crap that he pulled. That's
Yeah, I love it. Get out, you beast! Get out! I'm having a moment when I'm actually having trouble understanding the armor rule again. It's
I think I get it. So whenever I get a wound, I'm going from protected to exposed, and then when I guard, I'm going from exposed to protected, and the armor gives different things when I'm exposed or protected. Right now, I only give benefits when I'm protected. This cover tag and that bonus resolve recovery. I don't have the stuff that works when I'm exposed.
Yeah. The question is though, it says that people in your same area, apart from you, get the cover tag with the following ability. As in, you get if they guard, they restore 1 resolve. Yes.
Yes. Right now, this is gone. That's why I removed cover from Caliban in this like tag area. But I'm
what I
leaving the
don't-
node because it's like too difficult to delete the node as well.
Yeah. What I don't understand though is that instead of the cover, or is it because cover has a set of ability. I'm presuming it's like not a normal. It's not that plus normal cover stuff. It's just you use the cover tag, and it does something different to normal.
I think that one is a unique tag with its own abilities rather than one of the standard ones.
I think.
Cool. I just want to make sure because it's like I was thinking it's a possibility it would give you 2 abilities, but no, I think it does only do 1. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
other things
the syntax there is confusing because if you get the cover tag quote with the following ability, does that mean we use the cover tag to mark it, but it's this ability instead? Or does it mean you get everything you would normally get from cover plus this other thing on top of that? That's the thing that confuses me about how they've got that worded.
Yeah. Okay. We understand we're doing it though. That's fantastic. Okay, in which case the Cardinal is doing full-on amazing exorcism battle on the far left.
Yes.
It's pretty awesome to see. Loxley, what's your choice?
Yeah, so I think Loxley is going to start, is going to pull out his machete and is going to start trying to carve a path through this, through these ghouls that are surrounding him. So I think I'm going to make an attack action to start out with, which will be with strong. That's a 2, which is unsurprisingly under my stat.
Cool. In which case,
and that's in melee, obviously. I don't think it was going to make much of an odds, but and that is that's partial success. That's I think it's 2. Yes, that's 2 resolve damage. And for my maneuver, I'm going to move around into the sorry, I'm going to move around into the front arc. As I kind of carve my way through the ghouls to the front of the creature underneath where Roger is climbing up.
Perfect. Fantastic. And that's the end of the first round of combat.
Yeah.
It's worth noting, Jim, I don't think you were here for this bit. Combat was started wrong, as in I started wrong. You're meant to roll sharp to discover what you set your positioning, and then you roll quick to go if you're ahead or behind it. So it's 2 rolls, and I've been rolling them into 1. But we'll pick that up from the next game. And that's the second round of combat. First round of combat. I forgot to do my maneuver, which is on me. But that's yet more horrors to discover about this beast. And we're at to the top. Caliban or Roger? Who wants to go first?
Hit it, Krabby.
Happily. I'm a little confused about the Cardinal's abilities. Cardinal guarded last round, is that right? So do we have cover tags? Do I have a cover tag?
No, because I received damage after I guarded, so I lost my armor bonus, and now we are not covered.
Okay.
That's why I removed it. I'm trying to keep track of it. So right now it's not on.
Yeah.
If you guard now, you will only get your 1 resolve back.
All right. I'm going to attack. I think. I think I'm going to guard, and then which I've got this goad ability. The stupid creature is 2 steps behind you. When you guard, you may place a threat token on your area or an adjacent area, or push or pull 1 threat. And my inclination is to push the threat in our area to the rear.
You know what? I'm gonna actually let's talk combos, right?
Yes, please.
If my axe has an ability, my cleaver, if I do wound damage to the thing I attack, I can remove a threat token from the area that I'm in. I can clear it.
I'm going to push the threat to the front.
Yeah.
Then.
Nice. Clever. And you gain 1 resolve.
Thank goodness, because I am in need of resolve. And then I'm going to attack with my... hang on. I'm going to attack with my light spear this time. When I expend with Pierce, when I expend focus to roll with advantage, I could inflict 1 extra wound. So
cool. Have you got focus?
I do.
All right, cool.
Somehow got it. I don't remember how, but I got it.
From Cardinals.
Oh yeah, the Cardinal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fantastic.
Yeah. The more I can get focus from other people, the better. All right, so I'm going to roll. I named this wrong, but I was rolling against quick, and my quick is 15.
But you roll 2 dice because it's focus. As in, you're rolling with advantage because you have focus.
Oh, right. Well, I take the 4.
And almost a critical though. In which case, you do you do whatever resolve damage you were going to do onto it.
That is 2. Let me just double check my ability here. Yeah, it says inflict +1 wound damage if you hit.
Yes, but you only did resolve damage, so you do that instead.
Is that 2 resolve and 1 wound, or just 1?
Just 2. Basically, if you did a full hit, you do the wound damage, and if you do a partial hit, you do the resolve damage.
Okay.
Cool.
So
and I put 1, since it's a partial attack, I put threat in your area as you kind of stab it and gain its attention.
Got it.
Yeah. Which is fantastic. Now over to, I could do interrupt if I want. I don't want to. Over to Roger. How are you going to handle this?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is bellow at it that it had best pay attention to me and comply with my orders, which this is my roar ability, howl my defiance. When I focus, which is what I'm going to do, as I do that, I'm yelling at it that it better do what I say, or there's going to be trouble. I may pull 1 threat token, so I'm going to pull that threat token off of the Cardinal and Caliban into our area. And then I'm going to haul that cleaver out. And, clubbing it seemed to work, but we need something a bit more aggressive here than what I was just doing, as if Roger can get more aggressive. But haul that cleaver out, and I'm going to start hacking away at it. Yeah.
Before you roll, I'm
going to spend that resolve to hang on to it too.
Cool.
Yeah. Which is the thing I need to do.
Good luck.
Drop that down. And here we go. Rolling strong with advantage. So this is hack and slash. I got a 10.
10's a good for a direct hit.
Yeah.
So how many wounds damage is that?
4.
4 base. The 6. Do you want to describe it, Smash?
Yeah, and also I've got the oh, hang on a sec. That no nonsense ability. Shoot. Hang on a sec. Sorry. I did that thing where I messed it up. And I can remove a threat token because I did a wound to it.
Cool.
So knock one of the threats out. Yeah, I mean, just and this is just Roger in there. Like I said, he's hanging on to one of them like by a headlock, and it's trying to shake him loose, but he's just got a death grip on it, and with the other hand, he's got that cleaver out, and he is just it's just like that. In a comic, it would be we would see the arc of it with the kind of blood spatter trailing behind it. This is this is a Jeff Darrow thing going on right now, right?
Nice.
This is totally like a Shaolin cowboy, just hacking away at this pile of meat with just kind of gore flying everywhere as he and I'm sure I'm just completely, doused in it by this point. So yeah.
Cool. So also you pulled the threat from the Cardinals area beforehand, as in you got to that. So that's down to 0 in the Cardinals area. And it was 2 threats now. It would have been 2 threats, which is now down to 1. And actually, you do 5 points of damage because you have the +1 because you're holding on to the thing. Yeah, which is basically like it is awful howl of madness. I reckon it's going to smash the living hell out of you. It uses its other attack. 1 hunter at close range. It's a difficulty 11 against quick. Roger.
Okay, let's see what we got here. Quick. Roger's a lot of things. Quick is not necessarily one of them. So see what we got. At least it's not against like wise or anything like that. So get hit. What's a 4 under 9? So it's a partial.
You take 2 resolve damage.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
So I'm looking at there's a weirdness of my maneuver, which I'm just trying to work out. Oh, I know why. I'm going to lurch, and it just starts moving madly. I get to reposition all hunters in area 1. So I'm going to move. Let's see. Reposition means you get to keep your train tags. Oh, this is a weird roll. But I was going to move Roger to ranged. Now that means he should keep it. Since it's repositioned, it means you should keep your train tag. So, but you can't. Obviously, the ability is meant to be that.
But I mean, I'm elevated, but I don't get any advantage from it because I'm just
that's true. You'd have to move to. Okay, I'm going to reposition everybody 1. So I'm going to move Loxley back to ranged as the beast kind of like moves you around. Oh, sorry. I'm going to move Loxley to. Actually, I'm going to move Loxley over here to the left flank. I'm going to move the Cardinal to the front. And move Caliban out to the ranged flank.
So my ability says when you are at close and the entity repositions an ally,
Yeah,
it suffers 1 resolve damage. So if you moved everyone, does it mean like 4 resolve damage or
I guess
one
so. Yeah,
in general?
4 resolve damage. Oh, actually, let me read it. I guess it's.
Yeah, it's leash.
My gut feeling that's 4.
I guess if you decide to move me away as first, then it no longer works. So
Yeah.
you can like play
I
with
could
it
have
however
done
you
that,
like.
but I didn't. Let's players give. I didn't spot it. I'll know that next time. In which
Okay.
case, I take 4 resolve damage. Do you want to tell me how that looks? Give me a visual for the weirdness of like the Cardinal doing 4 resolve damage by whatever chanting and stuff.
I'm trying to imagine it because this game is very mechanical, not very fictional. It's leash. I think I'm reading the 10 Commandments that thou shalt not like possess what the others have and so on and so on, stuff like that.
That's great, and it's screaming, and it's all there's sort of Welsh choir singing from inside it in answer
Yeah.
in that kind of way, as it's almost hopeful sounding, as in it's that kind of like you imagine there's a riot inside it as it's fighting itself. Good news, when it hit 11 resolve, it broke. So in other words, it is now broken. So you now know what its resolve score is, and it means any attacks now doing resolve damage will now do wounds. Loxley or the Cardinal, who wants to go next?
I don't mind. I can go next door if you want to.
Okay.
It's much. I say it's much more. The reason I wouldn't normally have the option, but it's like tactically speaking, there's normally a right choice. So it's that kind of like if you can sort of see an angle, I want to give you a chance to play it.
I wonder if I see any angle over here. I mean, I doubt I would kill it, so at least I will like heal myself up, I guess. I think you can go first because I don't have a play here.
Sure thing. Yeah, I don't have a particularly a play that impacts on anyone else either. So yeah, I'm going to abandon my previous plan, and I'm just going to move back out to the ranged left flank there with my maneuver.
Leg it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think as we kind of see that moment where the sergeant has just kind of cut through the horde of ghouls to try and get at where Roger was, and then the creature lurches around, and he loses sight of him again in the crash, and is just swears under his breath, and darts back out to take cover sort of behind one of the big support beams in the factory, unslings his rifle and is just going to put a shot into the creature. That is a 12 against ranged, which is under my stat.
What is your stat, by the way? Again,
my stat is currently a 15, I think, in sharp. Sorry.
You do wound damage. Yeah. How much wound damage is that?
That is 2 wound damage.
2 wound damage. Do you want to describe taking the shot? Where it hits?
Yeah, so I think maybe we see he kind of is taking aim into the center of this creature. I think sort of firing into the sort of the furnace at the heart of it, and I think as the bullet enters, we see kind of a gout of flame spurting out, almost like blood.
Right, and it screams, and literally it moves up and shatters. Like the factory has got the chains have broken. They're now flailing around a bit. The Calabar, it's now burst through the walls. It's kind of near the river now, and you're sort of the fight is moving out in that direction. It's like a mid-fight scene. In the way this game is, it's now quote unquote unrestrained, which is one of its special abilities. Its stat line has changed. Like it was easy to hit close up because it was pretty much immobile with the chains. Now it's harder to hit closer up, and of course he's an easier target because there's less stuff covering him. So like at range, it's slightly easier now. But now it's pretty angry. Oh yeah, and it's a lot more threatening. It's clearly much more freedom of movement, so you're more in trouble. It's the equivalent of like the time has gone off in the game, and now the baddie's moving at twice the speed.
Yeah.
So and it's horrific. Cardinal, what are you going to do about this?
I think feeling that the beast is unleashed, maybe I can hold it on me so that the others can charge from the distance. Cardinal is going to guard, which means I'm again protected, and I recover one resolve. And yes, I'm going to attack. Reading scriptures about letting the dead rest.
I think it's the idea of the priest just chanting at the thing. It's like, you're going to use harsh language to... Yes, you are. That's brilliant.
Yes. Roger, would you like me to focus you, or do you feel good as you are right now?
I mean, we're not in the same area. Can you do that even though I'm in a different area?
Yes.
I would love for you to focus me, because I got to maneuver to getting close to it, so I won't have the opportunity to focus myself. That would be fantastic.
Oh, okay, I will then use one resolve to do this brandish attack, and see how it goes.
Yeah, it's the same or adjacent region, which is nice.
Yes, unfortunately,
Ooh, yeah,
I missed. Unfortunately, I missed, so not so good.
So does that mean no focus for me?
No, I have to at least hit.
Okay, all right.
I have to at least hit.
Yes. In which case, a missed attack, it means you just get threat upon you. I think that's right. Yes, that's right.
You are the master of the rules here.
Yeah. Sorry, I've just realised I've actually messed up by slightly putting threat on you earlier. Because I think.
Right. No, I had a partial before, and I think you place on a partial. At least you did used to place a threat on a partial hit as well. So I think.
Yeah. I worry I've just got that one wrong entirely, which is pretty embarrassing.
And can interrupt if you want.
Yeah. Yep, I placed one threat wrong earlier. I put threat if you miss. You do resolve damage if you hit as a semi and full. Since I would have put threat previously, I would I'm going to not put threat this time because that's the only semi so far.
Okay.
However, I do get to interrupt, so I'm going to use my interrupt ability to send the ghouls out to attack you again, Cardinal. So it is. It is. I think it's a toughness 9 attack, isn't it? Yes. Yeah, it's a toughness 9 hard attack against you, Cardinal.
It's a miss again, so I take another wound, and I'm again unprotected. But you also take one resolve damage, and since you are broken, I think because you used interrupt.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm again exposed.
Oh no, it doesn't. If it says 1 resolve damage, what it would do the damage it would do if it's a wound. If it says it does resolve damage, it does no damage at all.
Okay.
Because it's like if you hit, you does your wound. The damage you do for a wound, it doesn't mean transfer stuff over, which is quite a key thing. Like some abilities are really good at removing resolve, but nothing else.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah,
I
cool.
mean, I feel that the ability did the heavy lifting already. So
Yeah, cool. Fantastic. And that's the end of the second combat round. Let me just remove the threat from the situation. The third. Okay, the scene is factories in ruins. Beast is moving around violently. Roger and Caliban are taking position. Who wants to go first?
Why don't I charge in and take a swing at it, Caliban? There's a, I mean, looking at things, there's a chance I might be able to actually take it down. Roger, kind of, lumbers forward, that big cleaver out, and is just gonna go at its ankles, essentially. Just like get at, just start hacking at its whatever passes for toes and the bottom of its feet like that. So I am focused. Oh no, I'm not focused because the cardinal didn't manage to do that. So this is just a regular swing that I am taking here. So
Sweet.
let me do that. Single d20 here. This is going to be I'll just sweep the leg, is what I'm doing here. Roll that. That is an 11, which is a palpable hit, I believe.
It is wound. In combat, that is the one that counts as... Like, actually, I've imagined its closest changed, though, so it could have not been
okay.
one. Yeah,
Yes.
As in,
yeah.
the fact it's now free. But in this case, no, it is a hit. So you might be able to work out the wound now.
Excellent. I am going to do 4 wound damage to it with that cleaver as I hack into it hard.
That's pretty amazing. Sweet. It's screaming monstrously. It's now taken 13 points of damage, and he's still standing, screaming now. Bits of people is leaking out of its leg, but it's still kind of moving. What about you, Caliban?
So I think I have to move. I'm sort of picturing he's like it's trailing these chains, and I've sort of grabbed one of the chains and I've sort of pulled myself closer to it to try and thrust with my heavy spear. I don't really have anything else I can do, I don't think. So.
Oh, also, sorry. Oh, except there's no threat on us, so that's I can't remove one. All right.
Cool. Yeah, I use the threat to attack the cardinal. That's a good sentence. I love the sentences you get to say when playing RPGs.
Yeah, I'm not able to guard, and I don't have any focus. So this is just a straight attack.
Against quick?
Against quick. Yeah. My quick is a 15.
And you rolled a 9. In which case you would do... It'd be a glancing hit. It would be a resolve damage, but it's resolve 0 now, so it does your wound damage instead because it's vulnerable. So,
which is a 3, I think.
Sweet, you do another 3 points of damage. It's still hurt, but it's still alive. Like it's screaming, it's messy. Perhaps it's on its knees. You get it down, but it kind of gets up again. It's its go again. It's going to use its maneuver. Oh no, I can't use that maneuver. Bollocks. Let me just check. One of its, I'll tell you after the fight. I'm going to use it. It's got thrashing around and it legs it away again, pushing Roger out to the ranged again. It just keeps on running away from Roger because you keep on attacking its leg. Oh no, I'm going to move the cardinal first to range. Yeah, I'm going to move cardinal to ranged. Anyway, I take 1 resolve damage then.
I think you said that since it's already broken, it doesn't take any more resolve damage.
Right.
So,
but I'm going to move everybody out. I'm going to keep Roger there. I'm going to move the cardinal out. I'll move Sergeant Locksley. He stays where he is because it's at range, and I'll keep Caliban there as well in the moment of like screaming desperation because he's very aware that he's close to death now. He does the this broad swipe attack, lashing out at its tormentors. Roger and Caliban, you would deal with a TN8 hard attack, so difficulty 8.
I'm way over on that.
Right, you would take, that's a wound then, in which case you will take 2 wounds.
1 because I'm in the front and I have that extra. I soak 1 when I'm in front with my wielding my axe.
Sweet.
And I rolled a 3, which is well under my hard.
3, which is, so you would take threat damage, take 4 threat damage.
Do you mean resolve?
Sorry, resolve. Yeah. Names.
I am at, so I was at 2 resolve. So now
You go down to 0 resolve, but it doesn't go over. Like if you have any resolve, it basically acts as a soak. So it's always good to have 1 resolve if you can. Hence, guard is useful. Right, lashes out at the pair of you, and I've done its maneuver, and it can now place 3 threat because he's got his higher level ability. He's going to place 2 on Loxley, 1 on Caliban. And over to Loxley or the Cardinal.
Go on, Loxley. I will go last.
Sure. Awesome. So Loxley is, I said, he's sort of been crouching down by this kind of big steel girder, and is going to start now trying to scale up it to get a better vantage point against this creature in the ruins of the factory. So I'm going to attempt to take the high ground with strong. Unfortunately, that's a failure. Actually, wait. I think my strong is 11 as base. Yes, it is. No, so I don't quite get the bonus from my thing there. So I don't, alas, manage to get the high ground. I think kind of the this part of the factory just kind of collapses down. Loxley kind of rolls out of the scatter of rubble, cursing once more. As he raises the rifle and just takes a quick snapshot
Cool.
at the creature. So
No, that's me. Why at me?
that is a 5, so under my stat, but I imagine also under its defense.
Yes, but it's broken, so it goes
is,
to wounds. So you do your 2 wounds, and it drops.
Wounds.
Do you want to try the beast? Actually, I'll just go with the beast for the sake of the argument. It's this awful headshot, and it screams, and the screams are cut out with like I don't know, a mine falling shut, and all the voices being cut off, and it slowly tumbles across the river, like it's smashing down, and you realise it'll form an improvised bridge further into the jungle, so further into the urban environment, and you get the pull back as the black walls disappear. You've done it. Harvest 4 bone. I'm going to put, for the sake of, do you mind if I say, normally we go back to the base and like do the kind of stuff there. Can I suggest we do it quite quickly? As in, I would say we just say everybody does the research and everybody does the basic heal up. So everyone's back to full health and everyone goes up to 4 lore. So, and you learn 4 lore by researching the you imagine the montage scene in the library, looking up disasters and what possible could have inspired this awful idea of a machine. And then you're back from the portal into the real world, across the river, leaving the kind of the completely confused ghouls behind you, and you're in an area which is these kind of estates, these quarry-run estates here, which are kind of like, this was like it looks like a dream home kind of area, but they've all been smashed to the ground, and there's vague people living in the ruins, sort of staring at you. There's like ghouls there, and the mourners, and the people who pray. And kind of, as you notice, there are things prowling and looking around and sniffing, and occasionally finding someone and dragging them off. And you realise, for a second you think they're hounds. Then you realise, they're much bigger than hounds. and B, these are like hounds who've been patched together from the people in the factories. So like they've taken the people they made and made flesh monstrous creatures out of them, and they kind of howl at you and they prowl these areas. The Quarry Run Estates, you're one step closer. And we'll have a break there for the final one. Come back at 4 in the hour, and I'll see people then.
Kieran, do we also get a tier 1 ability to choose from? Yes, I'm sorry, you're muted again.
Yes, we do. Sorry, I'll do my friendly nod head gesture. Yes, everyone gets to pick a new tier 1 ability as well.
So that's in addition to the extra one we picked last time?
Yep. Basically, as at the end of the mission, if you kill the Lord, you get to keep one of them as a permanent one, but you do the kind of roguelike power up if you play as if you were playing Hades or something like that.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is quite a fun way of doing it. The other thing, so the bit my cursing was, the special ability I didn't use at all in that particular game was if he suffers 2 wounds, he gains 8 resolve. So he can choose to basically burn his own wounds to boost his resolve again. And I just left it too late. And because he got to the point where he had 2 wounds left. And it's like, oh, it's probably not worth it now.
It's a weird ability. Seems like not very useful at this kind of monster, but...
Oh, no. Like, it's like if you don't have, say, Roger dealing out the wounds, like it you know, if you were doing more, you know what I mean? Like if you were doing more resolve damage and then using it to basically
I can also see that being nasty if you've like almost got it down to its mid-game threshold bit of it going, well, I'll use that ability, recharge my threshold and change the fight.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that makes me like throw my controller when it happens in a video game. You're like, okay, the blue bar is almost gone. I'm almost to the red bar, and then he runs away and goes, God damn it! That's
Grant and Chris have really embraced the video game boss of this. The bastards. Okay, I'd say, we can pick straight up. Okay, we're heading through the Quarry Run Estates. This is like houses which are demolished. There's people's kind of, like you sort of see some the sort of decorations, I suppose, like the stuff that would have been the much higher up, but buried beneath the general broken rubble. And that's the kind of sort of the stuff you sort of see. People are hiding, as I said, the ghouls, and in fact, on the other side, it's at war. Here, everyone's kind of at peace. And then you've got these dogs, which are kind of the main threat. You sort of see the gardens of the mansion ahead of you, leading up to the mansion itself. So that's kind of the way ahead. So try who would be. I forget who I started the event. I say Loxley was leading in here because he took the kill shot. Loxley, what are you going to do? Are you the dogs are the main problem in getting up to the mansion as quickly as you can. But of course, maybe something you want to investigate here first.
Yeah. I think actually what Loxley is going to do is he'll kind of climb up onto one of these pieces, like a crumbling cornice off of a building or something, and we'll just sort of call down to the others. I'll try and keep those dogs of us if you can, if you want to take a look around. And I think he's basically just going to try and take pot shots at the dogs to keep them off the others' backs while we explore this place. Oh, sorry, you're on mute there.
Why am I using good mic discipline? Idiot. Okay, we'll do your role for clearing out the dogs next, I reckon. Because anyone have a nose round? Like, let's say, like, this is more like the sort of place you would have been promised, Roger. Like, what do you reckon? Do you want to have a nose?
Oh yeah. No, if Loxley is gonna, kind of just harry the guard dogs so that Roger can get in there and poke around. Like what is this like it's like a rubble field or what's going on exactly? Kind of terrain wise.
Imagine a northern model mining town from back in the 19th century. You've got these rows of houses. Imagine this whole area being rows of houses. But imagine an enormous, awful hand came down from the heaven and flattened them all. And now they're just rubble. That's what it looks like. So the rubble's organized quite neatly. Is the awful sort of element to it. And there's some people still living in the rubble, but there's also lots of stuff which looks like maybe half buried.
Oh, so then I think Roger is definitely doing that thing where he's going around, and he's got his truncheon out, and he's like, just kind of like doing that thing where he's walking along the sides of the building, like, with it out to the side, kind of going tap, crunch, tap, 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 crunch as he's walking along, and like, if anything comes loose, or like you hear a hollow spot or something like that, just kind of like poking at it as he's going along.
I say, give me actually, it sounds like a wise actually, because wise or sharp even.
Sharp, I think. But
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's
sharp.
yeah. Just trying to sharp-ish anyway. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, I'll just roll this regular. So call this poke around. And that's a 3, which is a partial hit.
That's exactly. I mark Doom. And you kind of find one kind of hollow, in no pun intended. It opens the door, and you find someone there. It's like one of the people from. They look very similar to the mourners from the far side, and they're sort of sitting there, like very, very frightened. It says,
and I just point the truncheon and I say, "You lot. We saved you from that stupid wolf made out of knives. So, if there's anything you've got to say about the ponce that lives in the posh house, you better tell me right now, or it's going to go badly for you."
There's a walls made of knives. This person is petrified. It's like, I think there's been a terrible mistake. Look, this is what they promise, and this person passes a brochure to you, and on the top front of the brochure there is
Sorry, they passed me a brochure. Roger, is there a picture on it?
There is. It's a beautiful picture of a lovely English village.
And I kind of squint at it, and then I turn and walk out, and I say, "What do you make of this, Vicar?" Because I clearly cannot read what is on it.
Brilliant.
Let me take a look and shed some light on it.
There's like it's basically advertising for people to come and live in quarry run estates. There are amazing work opportunities in the factories. There is a lovely clean housing. There is, welcome to the quarry run estates under the loving capital enterprise of the Lord. There is also a monthly lottery, and the person who's like in their hole, they've been hiding for months, shouts, "They promised us a lottery! They promised us a lottery!" And they're sort of weeping. Like this is just an image of like the manipulation of the people. You gain D3 lore from this.
Oh, cool. Let me roll that up.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Loxley is shooting animals. Shooting wild animals. I reckon tough.
Roll the 6, so that's going to be 3 lore for us.
That's nice. I would say toughness 12 because there's a lot of dogs and it's quite likely to go wrong.
Sure thing.
Against sharp because you, of course.
That's a 16 on my sharp, so that's a failure.
Oof. Well, you take down one dog, and then you take down another dog, and the dogs are coming your way, and then you take down a third dog, and then you have to reload, and then suddenly the dogs are on you, and there's a howling mass of heaving flesh, like Rottweiler tied to a Rottweiler tied to a Rottweiler, like Cerebus. But except there's 3 bodies instead of like 3 heads. It's an awful mess. Sergeant Loxley is being ravaged. Caliban, you're the nearest person with these dogs.
I'm very torn because this is rubble that's worth scavenging from, and that is my bag. I really like scavenging in rubble, but so I'm sort of about to kind of like go into that, and then I look back and I see Loxley dealing with these dogs, and I'm like, oh. So I go over and I start. Thanks, Roger. I start poking these ghoul hounds to try and get them off Loxley.
Fantastic. I would say it's toughness 10. I would say because there's less dogs because Loxley did shoot a lot of them. Against your sharp, isn't that your skill or is it quick?
It's quick.
I would say quick then. Oh, I meant to say, Caliban, there's one thing you had to do. You get to pick a second bit of exploration equipment because you've presently only got a rope.
Ooh.
So
Let me roll this. I rolled a 9, which is below my quick.
yes, but it's above the ability. So it marked Doom. To be honest, it takes you quite a while to kill all the dogs because Loxley's been torn around and thrown apart and in awful kind of terror. He's probably screaming kind of a series of soldier curses as he do so. And eventually, the dogs all lie still and, they've been trained not to really let go is the thing. Like they were really just paying all the attention to Loxley whilst you methodically take them down. Loxley's in quite a bad state and the uniform is really somewhat messy, even though his attitude is pristine at this particular moment. But like the way is clear into the gardens at least. In fact, we'll pick up with just approaching up the garden path. After all the horror and the degradation and the factories and the screaming dogs, this is really quiet. There's manicured lawns, ordered flower beds. There's abstract statues like futurism would have just happened in the real world. So it's got a bit of that. The kind of the idea of these iron wrought statues of showing wealth. There's only one chair at the top of the garden. And you sort of realize, oh yeah, that's the chair where the Lord could sit and actually take in this thing. And up there, you would see this stretch of land, the master of all he surveys. You see the sort of the path leading up to there, the mansion itself. However, there's also a glint, and suddenly there's a sharpshooter shot. Everyone hits the ground, hiding behind the topiary and the thing. Someone's up there with a sniper's rifle, which will make the approach to the castle difficult. But you also notice something a bit different. Like over to the far side of the garden, there's something like the kennels. And when I say kennel, I really mean arena. And the biggest hound, who's clearly the master's favourite, is there. It's a Lottweiler, stealing a joke from a chat in that way. Even at this distance, you make out the Colosseum Hailcon. He's the Lord's favourite hound. And, you can only imagine how upset he'll be if Hailcon happened to die. But at the moment, Cardinal, you're the man of the cloth and dealing with this situation. How do you want to approach how do you think you should try to approach the mansion? Or are you interested in exploring the enormous hell dog?
I think that Cardinal, knowing that he's wearing an armor, will basically move in a way to make himself a target.
Well, that's
that
clever.
will hopefully expose the shooter to Sergeant Loxley.
That's fantastic. I would say that is rolling with. Quick is actually the one, I'm afraid. Sorry, because Quick is lying. I think, unless
Sure.
yeah. Though finery might give you advantage. You're a good target.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do so. 2 dice under 7.
No, yeah, 2 dice. The difficulty is. Oh, you rolled far too high anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So as I say, the difficulty of that would have been. I was getting the 8. It would have been quite easy to get there. In actual fact, oh yeah, you're being shot repeatedly. So I got the image of you running whilst getting shot, and after the third shot, you kind of drop to the floor and lie there, hurting somewhat. The Cardinal is in the open, feeling terrible. Roger, I think it's like the man of the cloth has been shot to pieces. What do you reckon should do here?
Let's go to Loxley, because the whole point of the Cardinal doing that was to give Loxley
cool.
that opening to shoot back.
Yeah, Loxley.
Yeah, I think that while the Cardinal has been providing a distraction, we see Loxley pull up the hood on his sort of rain poncho as he crawls along the lawn, trying to keep to sort of the topiary shrubbery, and is going to try and draw a bead on this sniper. And take them out.
That's great. Sharp, difficulty 8.
Sure thing. That's a 6. That's a partial.
Fantastic. Describe how you take him out.
Yeah, so I think we kind of get that that moment where he's the sniper's taken the shots at the cardinal. And I think we kind of see kind of almost a mirror of that moment we saw just now, where the sniper up in the tower has obviously just gone to reload his gun, and as we kind of see, him sort of leaning down to reload, Loxley sights down his gun, which is kind of resting on the shoulder of a topiaried figure in a heroic pose, and fires, and the bullet slams into the side of the other sniper's head, and he drops and falls, and we sort of see the body pinwheeling down the side of the building.
You tumble. That's great. Like everything's still in the garden apart from the cry of the enormous hellhound. You make your way safely across it, but even by the time you reach the castle, there's an advertisement on the wall saying "New groundskeeper required. Must be good shot." With the word "good" crossed out and "better" written release it. Okay, you make your way into the castle, and you closer. Okay, from a distance, the castle is impressive.
Can we do something with the dog there? Or
I was mostly,
or
I
we
was
leave
doing a
that
kind of
area
pressing.
behind? Oh,
Like,
okay.
Okay.
All right.
I was like, in fact, you're near the door. Like, you certainly see the hellhound. You sort of, it's sort of, and you realise now you're this close to see it that there's ghouls in there, which is it's just happily tearing apart. It just entertains itself, and as it eats them, it gets a bit bigger. Like Roger, you said, does this make you want to act against it?
Yeah, I was going to go over there and like admiringly, kind of staring up at it, go, "Look at you, you big beautiful bitch," and walk over and find a like a battered, overturned tin water dish, which I look at it admiringly, and I pull out my gin flask and crank and fill the water dish with gin, and kind of put it through the bars of the cage, and here you go, girl. And I'm trying to make friends with it.
Wow, I wasn't quite sure if you get it unconscious. I wasn't quite sure the nature of that.
Or just maybe just put it to sleep, so it's whatever. I want it so that it's not going to bother us.
Okay, cool. I would
without
say
having to murder it. Yeah,
it's quick again, I reckon, but you roll with advantage, obviously.
Yeah, sure, cool. All right, again, not super quick, but let's see how we do here. Okay, this is going to call this here, doggy. Oh no, not quite. My quick is 9, and I got a 10 and a 19, so that is not going to work.
Okay, it's like it drinks the it starts drinking the gin, and then it gets angry drunk, I reckon. And so now you've got an even angrier
Instead
dog.
of sleepy drunk. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's like angry, screaming mouth. The dog opens its mouth, and there's like other dog mouths inside it. In that kind of like, it's got like a load of yapping creatures inside.
That
It's not going to be friendly.
Add some doom. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I say, no, and I kind of like sigh in frustration and turn and walk back to the others. And I say, that trick always worked for the dogs at home.
That's great. But you step inside the place of your betters, and it is safe from the distance. The mansion's impressive, but when you're inside, you realise no, it's not really. This was a mansion. Then they built another mansion on top of it. Then they built another mansion on top of it, and it's now this collapsed Gorman gas castle. You've got all these kind of broken passageways leading through it, and there's people still at work now. It's never going to be good enough. Clearly, never going to be good enough. It's only like a shell. It's like what's it? I believe you got the name of white egg stuff. You mix it, use to make cakes. It doesn't matter.
Like, you mean like meringue? Or...
Yes, meringue. That's literally
right.
the word meringue escaped me, but it's like a meringue castle. Like it's got that level of fragility and brokenness inside it. Anyway, like Caliban, you're the kind of like the person from the streets, I think most. So this is the strangest kind of place to be in. Like the Lord's got to be, there's got to be some way through it in this weird mass of death traps, dead ends, hex corridors, and stairs to nowhere. That's the immediate vibe you get. This is all rich person stuff. In other words, it's not good. You spend 10 lore to even get here, by the way. How do you reckon you're going to pay for the castle? Or you've got an idea for maybe finding something that may tell you something more about this guy?
Did you say there were people in here?
Yeah. There's like kind of they look like a lot like the mourners, but like they're not like being forced into these kind of funeral gear. Like so, they kind of their servant gear looks a lot like they've come to a funeral.
I think I just grab one and I say, "Where, Lord?"
That's hard, then I reckon. Hard difficulty 8 because it's the most basic. Like you're scary, they're not.
Oh, I'm scary. My heart is 15. I rolled a 6.
That is enough to make a complicated success. Immediately, this guy shows you, and he's quite like, "Yes, sir. Yes, of course. So, and he leads you through this series of death traps, and there's razors, and there's all manner of awful things. You see portraits of a man, a very rich man, on Earth, and you kind of finally realize who the guy is. His name was Victor Millcroft, and you recognize he was like a sort of middle-class man who built factories and became one of the richest people in the country, but he was never accepted by higher society. He tried to marry off his daughters repeatedly. He became incredibly rich, born off the utter degradation of the people who worked for him. And then he turned to increasingly dangerous sort of methods. He lost a lot of money through this. And then he disappeared a few years ago. And you sort of, you suddenly realize who this guy is. And then, of course, you really realize who he is as you enter the final antechamber, where the Lord's room is. And the portraits get increasingly corrupted as you kind of head onwards. It starts as a man and then becomes something more metallic. And then skulls start appearing on his shoulders. And then his eyes are full of fire. And then his innards are clearly collapsing inwards. And there's an awful furnace inside him, which is clearly being stuff needs to be fed, and everything has been destroyed. And you turn a final corner into his throne room, and you actually finally see it. He is now a furnace lich. If you turn to the keeper, you'll see a picture of it. Then you're immediately announced by the servant as in visitors, sir. And the furnace lich turns to you and looks awfully. Says, I can offer you work here. I've just got places for people like you, upwardly mobile creatures. And it rises up from the ground, and awful eldritch energies start coming off it. And suddenly the hunt is on. The blackness surrounds you all, and you are trapped. Okay, everybody. It's got 10 doom, and I'll be spending all of that, obviously. You have 7 lore, so you can choose 2 advantages from the list. What sort of things would you like?
Where's the list posted?
Is on some rules. Yes.
Some rules. There we go. Oh, okay. Yep.
Incredibly. Looking at the time, I would wait for soften them up with in the open and weak point, but just that's unless you want to know that's full stat.
I really got the drop that where we can because we're coming in on it, kind of running down the hallway. Fictionally, that kind of makes sense too. Yeah. But it's also a really good thing.
Yeah, you're all acting before it'd be really powerful, clearly.
Yeah.
So got the drop and a weak point.
That works for me.
Yeah, weak point's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and I have got the drop and weak point. Actually, how do we justify the weak point? What did you pick up where you knew about it?
I mean, we carefully studied all those portraits as we came walking in, right?
Oh, great! Yeah. You see, the furnace itself. That's kind of like the weak part from him. Okay, and I get to spend 3 advantages. So 3 Banes. I'm going to pick. Where's my threat cap? I'm going to start by putting. I'm going to choose waiting, as in he's this is his place. He's always ready here. So I get to put threat equal to half my threat cap before the hunt's deployment. I get to put. Then I'm going to pick. Fierce, and I'm going to choose to increase.
An attack you're not going to tell us about yet.
I think I probably got to actually say it. I'll choose one of my attacks, which I'll boost. And then for the last one, I will pick. I'm going to pick the evasive. Everyone suffers 2 resolve damage. But in that case, it's because he's released a bunch of like hell demons. Like there's kind of screaming souls. There's the whole kind of, you saw what he did with the bodies. This is what he did with the souls. That's where he keeps them. And they're kind of, it's really hard to fight here because everything's like burning around. So everyone takes 2 resolve damage. I get 1 attack, which I get +1/+1 on. And I put threat cap at the start of the battle. And I will put the threat.
Half your threat cap. Right?
Oh no, I didn't make +1 threat. I said, did I increase my threat cap? Yeah, I did. So I get +1 threat cap.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought you were doing the waiting one.
Oh no, I did. Sorry, I did waiting.
Waiting's half the threat cap, not the full threat cap.
Yeah. So just half the threat cap. That's what I meant. If I didn't say anyway, I'm going to put down my. To put them there on the map. So it's now its total threat is 4. Sorry, its total threat is 8. Right, now we roll with you roll with sharp to decide whether you get position or not, and you roll with advantage. Everybody, good luck.
Surprisingly, Cardinal succeeded at both of these rolls.
I succeed at the sharp, so I'm going to start in. I'll go range left.
I'm a fail at that one.
And I succeed at the quick, so I will be acting before it.
Excellent.
Is the quick check an advantage as well?
No, it's just the positioning, isn't it?
Got it.
Okay. I'll just double check that one.
I rolled both of advantage, so maybe I deployment and action order.
You do get both, actually. Advantage on both, my mistake.
So I failed the first one, but succeeded at the second one.
Right. Well, I'm going to put you over on range right.
Okay.
So furthest away
And
I can put you from front.
And Caliban, do you position yourself, or do you? Because I wonder, because we first position ourselves, yes? Then you position the others.
Yeah. Everyone positions themselves, and I would position Sergeant.
Caliban, do you position yourself, or did you
No,
also lose?
I failed my sharp, but I succeeded my quick, so I can act before.
Okay.
But I need to. I don't position.
Okay, so Cardinal doesn't really play well with Loxley, so I think I'm going to stay in front, waiting for Roger to finally get to me.
Works.
Maybe I want to play with the Loxley. Gosh, damn it. I will stay in front and wait.
I stay set in at least one of the close ones because Roger or I will end up in one of the close ones.
Cool. So we put Loxley all the way over here. And I'm going to put, pound sterling over here. That's fun. And I'm going to just put you back here in the center range. You get the image of like the thing sort of the throne kind of takes off from the ground and it's sort of levitating around the middle of the room like the Dr. Roboto or whatever he's called in this way and lashing out with the awful furnace lich energies. Fantastic. Who goes before the lich and who goes after it? And everyone else is okay. In which case, Roger, Caliban, and Cardinal. Who's going to go first?
I also go first. Sorry,
okay,
yeah.
everyone, please take your time and take down this creature.
I mean, all I'm going to do is run in and thump on it. So should I just go ahead and do that?
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah, because I don't think there's anybody else that's going to that can move me around or anything, right? So, all right. So first order of business is to maneuver into the right flank here, and then I haul out that cudgel, and attempt to batter it about the head and shoulders. Like, how big is this thing? Is this horrific, but not like 3 stories tall like the other thing?
I reckon it's humans. Like, it's bigger than human size.
Sure.
That's what I think. It's like, so the image you've got is like hands. If you see in the picture, they've got a picture of hands reaching up. So I think he's the
this is more like Dark Souls boss big than Shadow of the Colossus big. Is kind of okay. All right.
I think so. Like, it's kind of like it's the smallest thing you fought so far, and in some way, it's and it's almost like the person inside this awful furnace lich is much smaller than the armor.
Sure.
That's the kind of the awful. It's hollow. And you can use that word.
Yeah, so Roger gets in there and that big truncheon and just starts like battering at those armor plates, just trying to just dent it sufficiently that he can maybe knock a couple of them loose, something like that. So this is going to be we're just going to thump it. That is a 12, which is under my strength.
And it's over the thing, so that's a wounding strike.
Fantastic. All right. Well, I should have used my axe, but that's okay. What's that?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? Because especially when you reduce it's close, it suddenly makes it more like the wound to hit. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, but I was at the side, coming at it from the side, so you never know. Okay. So I get up in there on it. And that is my that's that. So that's going to do just one wound.
That's great. In which case, smashed into the side, barely hurts him in that way, but it's still a wound. Who's next?
So here's a question. Can I elect to do resolve damage instead, even though I can do wound?
Yes, actually, I believe you specifically can choose to do resolve damage instead of wound damage. Obviously, not vice versa, but
allow us to.
That being the case, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and do my 3 resolve instead of my instead of that single wound.
That's great. Done.
I think Cardinal will go last, waiting for Caliban to get here, so we can heal us both.
Sure. I'm cool to go next if that's.
Oh, can I pause a second? I can do it. I've just remembered. Of course, I do interrupts.
Yeah.
Even when I get a full hit.
Yeah, anytime. Basically, any.
Oh, you can do it anytime. Got it.
Yeah, it's basically in between. As long as I've got stuff to spend, I can.
Right. Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and there's that big juicy point of threat right there in my area. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use. Labyrinth Hex upon Caliban, which is cost 1 threat, difficulty 12 against Wise.
Great. Very good at wise.
You're now fighting a wizard is the problem.
My wise is 8, which hopefully won't be a problem for me.
So 8 or less, basically.
Nope. Rolled great.
Right, you take 1 wound because you've rolled over your ability. And you have a curse tag. It's a train tag, but you can't discard this.
I mean, that's sort of on brand for him anyway.
Yeah. Your head is like, I think the effect of the curse tag is like songs from the company songs. They start playing in your head, and that awful discordant like stuff is happening, and it just suddenly like you feel the fact that the pull of the factory in your heart, and it's awful. Right. Who said who was going next?
Wait, as we're doing interrupt, I deal you 1 resolve damage.
Cool, because you're close, aren't you? Yeah, great.
Yeah. No, I'm cool to go next. Mine will be a fairly simple one. I'm going to fall into my usual pattern. I'm going to grab onto some particularly garish curtains and attempt to use them to kind of climb up the wall and get onto something to get a bit of a better shooting angle over my colleagues. Yeah. So I'm imagining one of those big, like, ornately carved door frame things.
Yeah.
Cool.
11 or less, I guess.
No, still not. I specifically switched my stats around to be better at that roll and still fail it every time. But yeah, so I think kind of we just get that thing where he starts pulling on the curtains and it's almost like one of those like paper towel dispensers, and he's just not able to get any traction at all. So that being the case, is just going to give up and take a shot at it. That is a 9
That's
ranged.
Cool. That's a resolve hit. How much is that for you?
That is 2 for me.
Wait. I got the image of like just the bullet deflecting in midair, as in just sort of some kind of ritual, but he's still got to do the hand gesture to sort of distract himself from it. Who's next? Caliban or Cardinal? Oh, that's it.
I think
I'm gonna.
Oh, sorry.
No, not that yet. I would.
Go for it, Caliban.
I'm gonna save that for it actually for now.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna move to join the Cardinal, and I'm just gonna thrust with one of my heavy spear. I'm in a really bad mood because this music is really annoying me. Oh, hang on, let me just look at one thing on the grid. Okay. Yep, I think it's just a regular roll for me. So I'm rolling against quick, the 15. I rolled a 7.
7, that is resolve damage, which is,
I believe it's 2.
Sweet.
Yep.
Oh, and he breaks.
Oh, wow. That didn't take long.
Okay, and when he breaks, all the threat moves from your area to all the threat moves from adjacent areas into your area. So there's now 3 threat in your area.
I have Gleeful. I see the fear in its eyes. When we break an entity, I restore 2 wounds or 3 resolve. So I'm going to get my resolve back, I think, for that.
Sweet. Well, that's all good.
grin and say, "That's the stuff," as it staggers.
As it screams. I'm going to use an interrupt. I'm going to have Cardinal Asher. I'm going to use You Work For Me Now, which costs 2 threat.
Mm-hmm.
It basically points at Cardinal Asher and then points at Caliban and says, "Kill him for me." Come on. Basically, I choose a weapon you possess. I'm going to choose the book, and you attack Caliban with the book. So in other words, it's a whatever your stat is, Y, difficulty 16 attack against Caliban, against Weird. Or not Weird, or against Wise, I guess.
That's my roll.
Yeah, you've got difficulty 16 against Wise. So you defend yourself like that.
Yep. Wise is 8, I believe. Just double check. Yep. I rolled a 2.
2. That's a good
Wise
roll,
enough.
of course. You suffer resolve damage then. So 2 resolve damage.
2 resolve damage.
Yes, because Cardinal blast you. Cardinal, do you want to describe what your book does to Caliban?
I think the book just flies into the air and smacks Caliban. Now that he's broken, he no longer takes damage from my leash. Yes, that's what we established last time.
Yes, there's like
Okay. Okay. So I will guard, which will give both of us 1 resolve back, me and Caliban. And then I will brandish it for its heretics, for its heretics doing. And if I hit, I will focus Caliban. In that case, so I'm rolling a wise attack under. Yeah, let's see. Oh no, there should be only 1 die. So I miss, unfortunately.
oh dear. Is it straight miss then, yeah?
Yeah, it's a 17 versus 16.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a
yeah.
miss, so unfortunately.
The one thing about this game, I need to be better at it. So you get threat goes there. And I'm going to spend those 2 threat to make Caliban attack Cardinal. As in now you with the spears, that guy. So the bigger of the 2 spears.
So I roll.
Whatever the attack is. So I guess it's your attack is quick. Is it Caliban or is it? Yeah, quick. To be honest, this rule isn't very well explained as in how it's written. But
I can only have partial, so I succeeded at the partial, so I take the resolve damage from the heavy spear. Yes, so
Yeah,
that's
that's
a 2.
Cool. Caliban, do you want to
I'm
describe
broken.
Oh, you're now broken.
Yes.
Was that the Lich's move?
No, that was the Lich's interrupt. Now he
Interrupt.
gets the remove. Yeah.
Oh wow.
This costs 2 threat though, so it's the expensive one. Has everyone finished their turns now? Right.
Yes.
Liches go. He is going to send his hunting hounds offer to Loxley, which is toughness 14 versus strong. This is the one he's increased, by the way. Actually, let me pause. No, I won't. I'm going to use Soul Drain, which is the other attack, and he's going to use it to hammer Powell, I think. The
Cardinal.
So it's basically difficult 15 versus hard.
Oh. Yeah, let's take a look. And I fail.
So you roll over your stat, in which case you take 4 health damage. Sorry, take 4 wound damage.
So I will use my my armor once per hunt. Ignore all damage from entity attack.
Oh, that's nice. Okay, I've got a rule question here, I think. I basically heal resolve equal to the amount of damage inflicted. Now, does inflicted count as the amount of... Is that... I did it, it was inflicted, then it was cancelled? Or is it cancelled and therefore inflict nothing? What do you reckon?
It says ignore all damage. So I guess it's like...
You still
isn't
inflict
dealt.
it, but he doesn't have to mark it, I think.
Yeah, I think... So I'm now up to 4 resolve, so I'm unbroken again.
Yeah, I think if it had been like Roger's one where it reduces the damage, that probably would have worked. But yeah, I think that's a fair reading of it anyway.
I agree. I think that makes sense to me as well. So he is up to... And the result... I'm going to basically... Yep. Right, cool. I should do it the same way round. Has he taken health damage, yeah?
Not yet.
How much has anyone damaged him? I forget who's damaged him.
No.
We've only
no
done
wounds.
resolve to him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's cool. Right, in which case, I got a mistake there. That's cool. The column on the right is the maximum resolve, and the column on the left is present resolve. Right, and so I've done his attack and his maneuver. He's going to use burn. All hunters in close suffer resolve damage equal to the threat in their area. Oh, what the fuck am I saying? I've burned all the resolve. I'm an idiot. Discard all the train tags in 2 durations. Who's got train tags? Only Caliban has, hasn't he?
Yes.
Cursed.
Yes, I'll remove your cursed, and I basically resolve 2. I get 2 more resolve for that, so I'm back down to 1 resolve damage taken. So like I say, the image I've got, the image is basically like picking up Cardinal, the awful lich doing so and draining energy out of him into his body, and then there's more energy flowing out of Caliban in that way. And then
So technically, Caliban also has my cover terrain tag.
That's a good question.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Technically, he has it because I'm still protected and we are in the same area. So I'm sorry, I didn't mark it. Yes. So
basically, I would destroy it, then it would immediately reappear. I think that's the fair reading. In which case, I'm back to full health.
I think if you destroy it, I am exposed and it doesn't reappear then, because the reading says that it's weird. If the ally destroys the cover tag, you are exposed. I'm not sure if Caliban is destroying the tag or does it count as you destroying the tag.
Yeah, I don't think so in that case. I think it would be if Caliban like moved away.
Okay.
That would make you exposed, but because
I destroyed it, it doesn't.
Yeah.
However, the fact.
Yeah. So he's still covered.
Yeah, it's back up to full resolve then.
Am I cursed or covered or neither or both?
You're neither. They're both gone now.
Oh, fantastic.
Actually, but cover immediately reappears.
Yes. Yes, cover reappears.
And I put some threat down.
Wow. So it basically cancelled our full round of damage.
Yeah. Put you in better positions now. Back to the top.
Well, this is the big bad. So
yeah. This is the first round where you go, oh, the boss is doing its thing. Now you've learnt its patterns. Who's first?
I wouldn't mind going first this time if that's okay.
Hit it. Yeah.
Sure. So I am going to which way around do I want to do this? I think that I'm going to. Yeah, I will take a shot at it. Which will just be a standard one. That's a partial. So 2 resolve damage.
Yep.
And then Loxley is going to take the shot at it, then dash forwards, drawing his machete as he goes, and using my charge ability. When I move up into close, I deal 1 resolve damage to the entity.
Oh, that's cool. It's a great image as well, and that kind of like disload muskets, charge. Okay, I get to interrupt if I want. I'm gonna. No, actually, I don't. I'm gonna leave everything okay for now.
So why don't we have Roger go next? I will use my weighted net. I will haul that net off of my off of my belt and chuck it at it and wrap it around one of its spell casting arms or something like that, so that it's gotta like divest itself of that before it can do anything. That means I can remove 3 threat from the grid. At close, remove 3 threat tokens from the grid. So I will clear your threat off, so you have none on the board. Thank you for not spending 1 before. Let me do that. Let me erase those. Boom, those are gone. All right, and then I will. Man. Yeah, I'll haul out my. I'll wail on it with the truncheon again. We'll see if we can get the resolve down so that my buddies can do some wounds to it. Actually, yeah. Let me see if we can break it again. Well, what do you guys think? Should I keep hitting it for resolve, or should I just haul out the axe and see if I can put some wounds on it?
Go for the wounds. That's
all right. I'll give it a shot. So Cleaver comes out. I will go ahead and spend a charge of my one of my capacity, putting me down to 2, and swing away with my great big cleaver. So that is going to be. This is, what do we got here? This is going to be, I'm looking for 15 as my target roll here.
Definitely harder when you don't just roll criticals.
That is an 11. Is that a hit?
Let me just double check something. It's to give it away. Yes, it's a hit.
Fantastic. All right. So that is going to do 4 wounds to it.
Ouch.
Because that is my keen axe.
Yeah.
Transform beast into meat is what it says that thing does.
The limb is sort of cutting off slightly, and it's really kind of messy. Howls in terms of like I've bought off the police. You're my men. What are you doing? Don't you understand? This is not how things should be. Who wants to go next?
I will jump in next. Karna will guard to recover 1 resolve and to recover 1 resolve for Caliban, and then I will repeat with, and I will then I will strike with a brandishing attack on the entity using my 1 resolve, so I remain broken. But let's hope for the best. And that's a hit for 2 resolve, because it's only a 2. And I focus Caliban.
Brilliant. No threat on the board at the moment. And I'm going to not spend anything, I think.
All right. I think that makes it my turn.
Yep. Feel free.
I am going to use Pierce. Wait. There's no threat on the board.
Yep. Not that I can see.
Is it helpful to anyone for me to add threat to the board? Okay.
I mean, the critter.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't entirely understand that, but I can do that. But I do suspect that for some, like I've got another ability that takes advantage of threat.
There's definitely some level 2 abilities that let you do stuff with that. So that sounds like a combo thing to me.
Yeah. I am going to guard to restore 1 resolve.
You restore another one from.
Oh yeah, I forgot to do that. Thank you.
Useful man to have around, Cardinal.
Yes, I like sharing a space with the Cardinal. We are quite the mismatched pair. And then I'm just going to attack with my spear, and I will roll with advantage. Spend the focus to roll with advantage.
Cool.
Both of these are below my 15.
That is a wounding hit. Feel free to. How much is it? 3 points of wound damage.
It would be 3 points. Yes.
Nice. Like, do you want to describe the hit?
I think I've moved in close, and between the Cardinal and my guarding, I'm had the resolve coming in me, the curse lifting. The music is no longer bogging me down. I think I just thrust upward with the spear as this throne thing floats around, trying to get under some of the armor that it's wearing.
Fantastic. It's all kind of like it's going. It's moving backwards a little bit, trying to work out what it can possibly do against you. It's going to use the room maneuver again to remove. There's only 1 train tag, which is Caliban's armor, which he removes and gets back. So he only gets down to here's another 2 resolve, recovering himself. And I reckon, who's the most badly hurt of all of you? Oh, it's the Cardinal, isn't it? I'm going to use Soul Drain on the Cardinal again, which is 50, typically 15 against your hard.
Rolling. Hard. Oh my god. Hard is 10. I succeeded, so I take resolve damage, but I'm broken, so I'm taking wound damage. How much is it?
4 wound damage.
I take on the full.
Yeah, and it heals 4 resolve. So he's back to full resolve again.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's worth knowing he only heals if he does wounds, by the way. So in other words, if he does resolve damage on somebody with that attack, it doesn't heal him. Right, and that's the end of the second round. I was about to say, we are now at the top of the hour, at the end of our time. I mean, is people's hard out? What do you want to do?
I'm okay to hang out for another half hour, whatever we
me
need.
too.
Same.
Cool. It's like that's about my time limit as well. Like I need to start cooking for my daughter about 5:30, but that should be fine. Let me just pause, and I'll tell my wife what's going on because.
I wonder if the other thing, Dan,
Well,
for where you can put threat down, like if we know that it's near the cap and we want to put it somewhere where we decide where it goes instead of,
Right.
Karen, that might be a way to use that as well. So, yeah. And I'm sure that some of us, like, I know that there's level 2 abilities where, like, burn a threat, get a thing, kind of stuff like that. So that probably is one of those places you can stack some of those things and use them in sequence, combo style.
That's great. My threat down, by the way. And that's good. We're now round 3. In which case, who wants to go first?
Why don't I go? And well, actually, so here's the question. How does that thing where you can focus people work, Cardinal?
I make an attack. If I hit, I can focus someone in my area or in adjacent area.
Mm-hmm. You want to go and see if you hit, and then if you can give me focus, like I can rip this thing to shit because of that
I will.
axe that I got.
I will. In which case, Cardinal will guard again, get his cover status up, recover one to himself and one to Caliban, and then attack, which means I will remain broken, but I will try to focus. Caliban gets covered status. Let's roll the die. And that's a hit. It's a 9. I think it's a partial hit.
Yeah. No, you attack with weird, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. So
2 resolve damage.
That's 2 resolve damage.
Is 9 partial, or does that hit it?
No, 9's a partial. His weird defense is different from his close defense.
Oh, sure. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a third defense that only Book cares for.
Yeah.
So yes, Roger, if you want focus, please be focused.
Cardinal's chanting away. I've got the image of, like, he just can't stand Russian literature or like anything involving reading. He's not that one of those kind of lords. Roger, focused. Who's next? Oh, I get to do a response. I'm going to use the Labyrinth Hex and try to attack the Cardinal, which costs me 1 threat. That is difficulty 12 versus Wise.
Okay. And I rolled 11. You said 12, so that's a partial.
Yes, that is.
But I'm broken anyway, so.
You take 1. If you're broken, you take 1 wound, but you also take the curse tag.
So I'm exposed. So you take 1 resolve damage because you used interrupt.
Yes.
And the covered goes away. I'm removing this from the board. Yes. Next one, please.
Sweet. Who's next?
Why don't I swing away since I've got that focus? Let me get in there and chop away at it. Coming in there at the side, trying to hack into its ribs, like up there. So let's see. This is strong, and I'm rolling with advantage. So I got a 10.
10 is resolve damage.
Yeah. All right.
Close.
So then that is 2 resolve.
Cool.
Then I will howl my defiance and focus after my attack to give myself to like, I lost the focus tag when I hit it, but now you bastard.
Come back
and
here.
I will put the focus tag back on myself And when I do that, I can pull a threat token. So I will pull that that one threat that's on Caliban and the Cardinal onto myself.
Cool.
And I'll go ahead and make that change. There we go. All right.
Fantastic. I get to interrupt. One of my interrupts is free, which is called Pull the Strings. And I got the image of the lich just gesturing at the Cardinal and says, "No, you've done enough. This is not a place for the man in the cloth. Get back to, get back to the church." And he gestures, and you find yourself walking backwards, entirely beyond your control. And I'm going to move you from where you are to ranged behind you.
So you take 1 resolve damage because you're moving me from close.
Yes. But we'll get rid of this awful priest. He's now up to 6 resolve damage.
I think in which case I would very much like to go next. I am going to, still brandishing the machete, I'm going to slice at the lich as I circle around him. I'm going to move into the front, which will do him 1 point of resolve damage.
Excellent.
And then I'm going to turn to Caliban and say, "What are you waiting for, pal? Get this over with." I'm going to guard to recover 1 resolve, and Caliban, you can become focused.
So it's now actually you did that resolve damage broken then, didn't it?
Yep.
So allow me to then his break it again happens. All threat and adjacent stuff moves to that area. So the threat that Roger pulled moves back. As his desperate cries again. As in he kind of moves all his fingers are pointing. Roger, you get to use your ability again, don't you? Or are you?
No.
Oh,
No.
you only use once. It's only breaking once a battle then.
I mean, sorry. Yes, I get to use my ability. I'm fully healed up. So sorry. Yeah, yes, I use it. It doesn't. I don't need it. Is what happens here? Yeah.
Cool. Right, who's next?
I think I'm the only one who's not gone yet. I'm focused, so I will spend that and roll with advantage with my heavy spear against quick. I rolled an 8 and a 9.
They, of course, would be only glancing hits, but since it's broken, it does your wound damage, whatever that is.
That would be, well, you tell me here. I've got, since when I spend a focus, because I have pierce, I think that's what it's called. Yep. I inflict +1 wound damage if you hit. My heavy spear does 3 wound and so.
But the thing is, you've got those abilities. The pierce is on your small weapon.
On my small spear, yes. So either way,
so
I'm going to 3 wounds.
So either way, it's 3 wounds.
Yeah. And where am I? I will focus, so I can have focus next round.
Cool. It's now on 10 wounds. He's hurting really badly. You think maybe one more good blow will finish this guy off? Can we make a deal? I have wonderful positions for people of your caliber.
Sadly, we've already got a job here, mate. And you're it.
Very well.
Consider this more of a hostile takeover.
I will show you hostile. And it immediately goes and who's easiest? I'm going to attack Sergeant Loxley in this kind of, because he's the one who's hurting him a lot. He uses Soul Drain, difficulty 15 against hard. Oof. That's going to be above it.
That's a failure, yeah.
In which case you do just it picks you up by the throat and let that telekinetic energy vampire, and he starts siphoning your energy, as in like this is all good industrial process. So he heals 4 resolve, and you take 4 wounds.
Sure thing.
And its maneuver will be. Has anyone got any train tags? In which case, I'll just use burn. All hunters that close suffer resolve damage equal to the threat in that area. So Caliban and Loxley suffer 1 resolve each. As the fire kind of bursts out, expressing his anger. And that's the end of his action, in which case I again put down more threat. Like that. 3. 1. And we're up to the next round of combat. Right. It's pretty tense. Like the servants are watching on, kind of. They're not quite sure if they're hoping you win or he wins. He's floating and lashing out in his natural being. Who wants to take the first shot at this creature?
Well, what do we got going on? Let's see. We've got. I mean, I'm focused. Should I just take a swing at him from where I am down there and see if we can?
I think so.
Or do we want to try and do resolve? Yeah, let me just let me just hack away. I may as well. I may as well get in there. Like I said, I have focus from last time, so there's no reason not to. All right. So this is a strong 15. I will spend 1 of my capacity on the cleaver as I'm, grunt and hack away at it. There's a 9. So it's going to do 2 resolve is all.
That's a shame, yeah. That takes his resolve up to 5. As he kind of like it. He's sort of dodging around your axe blades in that way, as he refuses to stay still.
Yeah.
Maybe I will go.
Well, let me take my let me take my second action, which I think in this case is I will move to put myself in front with Loxley and Caliban.
Fantastic. This is the final insult. Like, I am a lord. I should be killed with a sword, not an axe.
Oh, this is not an axe. It's like a meat cleaver, like a butcher uses, like a big, oversized, like something that a shopkeep would kill somebody with.
I'd say that's the weapon that should kill a priest, say, as he gestures. Spending 2 threat, roll your axe attack on the cardinal.
No, that's not what I wanted to do. That's not good. All right. Yikes. Sorry,
not you roll. Sorry, the cardinal rolls the defense.
Okay,
but I'm in a different area.
Oh, I thought it was
Cardinal's in a different area. Yes,
my apologies.
I'm with Loxley and Caliban. Yeah.
Loxley, I reckon. He gestures, kills soldiers, for example. No, actually, no, the cardinal's too far. I put him over there. I forgot about that. This one here, please. Kill this one, little man. Kill this one.
Sorry, what is it for you? What's the
difficulty of Roger's strength?
Strength, cool.
Which is 15.
That is a 6, so partial.
Yes, so partial damage. If I was smart, I would use the bludgeon, but I was still thinking about the cardinal, who of course is broken, and therefore incredibly vulnerable to, for example, being hit with an axe.
Well, I mean, you took a chance at my doing more wound damage to him, which is a totally legit choice. It's only 2 resolve damage because the cleaver is about cutting things up, not about like removing armor or demoralizing people.
Yeah.
It's just
I'm
just about
presuming. I'm also
turning
presuming
me
that
into-
that I don't burn your capacity. I think that would be unfair because it says choose a weapon and roll that attack. It doesn't say count as an attack specifically.
That's an interesting question. That's a Hollows rules question in the in the Discord, I think. Yeah.
Especially apply the damage for the weapon into a different hunter in the area. It doesn't say use the weapon. So
Apply the damage. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Yep. Nope. I think that makes it, that wording makes it pretty clear. Yeah.
Okay. In which case, interrupt is over. Who's next?
I already have focus, so I'm happy to go. If that makes sense.
But wait, I can like finish it, break it, and then maybe you can like go for the kill because I'll probably only
please break
resolve it.
That's clever.
So yes, I will guard, and then also do a brandish attack, which means I will remain broken. So nothing really changes to me except I'm. Wait, I'm protected again. Let's roll the die. Oh, a 13. Is it a wound hit or a...
It's a resolve hit. It's got a very
It's a
high
resolve.
weird. It's got very high weird defense.
Yeah, as expected. So I deal 2 resolve damage to it.
Which breaks
And
it.
because... And so who is unfocused?
Loxley.
I think I will... I think Sergeant Loxley, please focus.
Yeah, because he hasn't gone yet, so that's the one to do it too.
I know all the threat moves from my area to the cardinal. But not my area, from front to the cardinal due to the screaming. Like, well, nobody rid me of this turbulent priest. Okay, I'm not going to interrupt.
Shall I take a poke at him? I'm already focused, and just remind myself. I'm just going to attack. I rolled a 1 and a 19.
Wow. Well, one of them's a hit, but the fact it upgrades to a full attack because it's broken. It does how many wound damage?
It'll do 3.
Fantastic. Its max health is 12, so it kills. Allow me to tell you what happens though. A special called Soul Furnace kicks in. Right. He falls to his knees. Are you sure we can't make a deal? We're men of the world, people of quality. Now, all of you get to make an immediate free maneuver of your choice.
I think I'm going to guard.
I think I'm going to guard as well.
Free maneuver.
I'm going to focus. See it drop to its knees, and I kind of like.
Oh, and sorry, and Caliban, you can have focused again.
Oh, I automatically get it back.
Well, yeah, when I guard someone in my space can focus.
Is everyone where they want to be position wise? Because I've got lure that can move people.
I wouldn't mind being not next to it, but yeah, I'm not sure which way this is going to go. But yeah,
it's going to surrender.
I think the lure is a pull, right? Is that?
No, I can just reposition all hunters one space.
Yeah, it's like basically you lure it to where you want it to be, so you can.
Oh, because you're luring the critter. Got it. Okay, yeah. So, you know, I'm up front. That's where Roger. That's where Roger does his best work. So I don't want to go anywhere, but the rest of you feel free to shift yourselves around.
Yeah, I'll spend my lure. I haven't used it yet, so.
In that case, I will move Cardinal to support. If you're giving, because you're giving everyone a move, yes.
Everyone gets.
Yes, liking it is a great idea. It's what I would do in a video game. So the boss is pausing. Run away. Fantastic. Okay, at this point, I pull all threat from the whatever region it's in to the region that's closer up. So all threat is now beside me, or beside the lich rather. Now there's awfulness. The lich said, "Well, I did not want. These are very long-term investments. I didn't want to burn." And he pulls out a list of. It's a long scroll with all his workers' souls written on it, and he burns the scroll.
You've got a threat on ranged right as well.
I missed that one. Well, that gets pulled to close as well. Thank you. And he burns this thing, and immediately his entire form reforms. His health goes to maximum, and his resolve goes to maximum. So he is at full health again. And now there's also some change to my stats. Now we will finish this. It cracks its awful bony knuckles. And I think that's probably where we should leave it, because I don't think you're going to kill it in 10 minutes. But like our heroes facing off against this fucker. Do you want to give everyone like their final line, or what they're thinking as they see this creature? Starting with Roger and going around.
Oh, I think Roger sees it, kind of coming back together, and I think he says something like, isn't that typical for a ponce like you to get a second chance when none of the rest of us get something like that? Doesn't matter. We'll take you down anyway.
That's great.
I think when Caliban delivered the killing blow before, he said something like, "No deal," and then pulled his spear out and turned to his companions with a certain amount of pride, and noticed the looks on their faces as he burned the thing, and he started to recombine. And Caliban turns and is, as usual, lost for words, so doesn't say anything, but is just, I think, more frustrated than fearful.
That's great. And Cardinal, what do you say at the back? What do you think?
Cardinal quotes and says, and then the Lord said that the dead should stay dead. We'll correct you.
And I think, kind of somewhat battered and bruised. The sergeant reaches into, pulls a bullet out of his top pocket, which is not where he's kept the rest of his bullets. This is clearly a special one. As he goes to load it in, and we kind of get like, he says, "Well, unlucky for you." We get like a super zoom in on the firing plate on the pistol, and on the bullet, I should say, sorry. And it's got Millcroft Munitions stamped onto it. And he says, "This one's got your name on it."
Hey. And we doing the big zoomy camera angle around, taking a focus shot on everyone and a kind of in the wobble shot around each one of them, then zoom back out, and we get the enormous Hollows logo fills the screen. Thank you for playing the Hollows beta. And then we cut to black. Thanks for playing, everyone. That was delightful. And I'm sure it's going to show the map of that's the map of where the route you took. So there's a whole load of stuff up here, and it's obviously down here as well. But still, that was fun. And I'm going to stop recording now. Thanks, everyone, and hope you enjoyed this, etc.
Yeah, no, thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.